Hey everyone, welcome back. Thank you as always for joining us. This is Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, joined as always by my co-host Andrew Don't Get It Twisted Lapachet, and this is the Mad Boxing Show, or Mad Boxing for short. Thank you as always once more for joining us. All right, so this is our, I guess, New Year's show because the next time we get on here, this is going to be the last show of 2025 or 2024. So the next time you'll see us, it will be 2025. The good joke that me and my schoolmates used to always throw back with one another is, "We'll see you next year." Yeah, we'll see you next year because the next time we're on here, it will be 2025. So this is basically our last show of 2024. Something that we can look back on because we started this show in February, I think it was, right? Officially February, right, Andrew? So it's been quite the year, quite the journey, I guess we can say that. But this is yet another weekend with no fights, quite frankly. So now it's like, well, we got to dig up stories for y'all somehow, right? So we got some stories that we can, some announcements, fight announcements, things having to do with Teofimo Lopez, things with having to do with Floyd Mayweather, things with having to do with Jack Catterall and other stuff that we want to bring up to you guys because we have stuff to talk about. No real fight news per se, in regards to results. I mean, because quite frankly, there haven't been, and we won't get any boxing until somewhere mid or early January, I believe. The second weekend of January, I believe, and. Hell, there won't be some fucking UFC until like the 10th. So we're kind of in a little bit of a little drought. I get it. Everybody's having a little bit of a vacation, right? End of the year vacation. And it's going to be a nice little kickoff for the 2025 for them. So understandably, no fights, no real serious news through the Christmas and New Year holiday. But regardless, we're here for you because we're not going to let y'all down. Before we get into the stories that we have, because we did, had to scour the internet to try to find, Andrew, what's going on, dude? How? Well, this is actually after Christmas. So how was your Christmas?
Uh, Christmas was good, bro. Yeah, kids got everything.
Mm.
They did good. They scored. I don't know if you've seen all the photos, but Junior got his first personalized Raider jersey, Lapichet on the back.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, that was the highlight, I think,
Do,
of his
do you
of
have
the
one for
Chris.
you or no?
No, I
You,
never did it. I
ah,
never did it. I've always worn just the Raider jerseys, so that was the first time I've seen my last name on the back of a jersey. So that was pretty cool. Thank you to my sister for getting that for him.
all right.
Um, yeah, so Giovanni got a ninja sword. That was his highlight. Santa
Right.
dropped him off a sword. I can't believe it. I didn't know elves make fucking katanas, as he
All
keeps
right.
saying, but they did. So thank you, Santa, for that.
They got
Um,
one of those like bicycle things where they're like, right? They're like sharpening the blade and shit on that big ass wheel. Oh gosh, I don't know. The North Pole had that, but okay.
I didn't know the North Pole had that. They had
Uh,
some ninja elves somewhere out there, bro, fixing that
sure.
up for
Hey,
him.
yeah, they're just like bringing those big ass fucking blades. Like, wow, those are some scary ass elves. Jesus.
So yeah, no, we did good. Everyone did good here. Yeah, had real nice Christmas. So very
All
happy.
right, right on. You still have all your decorations up, I'm assuming, right? Because you got two damn trees. You got to take all that shit
Yes.
down.
Yes. Right now we're still in the process of like opening a few gifts every day, right?
Mm.
We're 4 days into this BS. Um
Yeah.
it's so yeah, it is a process to open up all the gifts, try to transition some out while you're bringing new ones in, and
Mm.
yeah, things like that.
What did you guys have for dinner? What was your
Oh,
Christmas dinner?
tamales, bro.
Oh
Tamales.
yeah, yeah.
Tamales, rice, beans. We also have the American side, right? The ham and the
Mm.
cheese, potatoes. What else did they have on that side?
Like corn and shit, or no?
Vegetables. No, there was vegetables. There was I'd have to ask Christina because you know me, I'm on the tamales, bro. Tamales, rice, beans. Christina made enchiladas, red and green.
Oh,
So we had those two. Um, yeah, but that was it. That was it.
do you guys like champurrado or nah?
And there was roast beef.
Oh,
No, prime rib, prime rib,
oh, prime rib.
prime
Okay.
rib and ham on the American side, and then tamales enchiladas on the other side. So
All right, right on.
we'd have two plates at our houses.
Jeez, yeah. It's like the plate with the U.S. flag and the plate with the Mexican flag. Yeah, that's we did the same thing. We had tamales. We had um we got that Mexican chocolate hot chocolate called champurrado, right? We got some of that shit. It's like super thick. And then ham. We did the ham. Then my mom made some like corn on the side, and she made some fucking mashed potatoes. But she made them with like a special. I mean, not special. It was like a different recipe. She added like cream cheese or something that were creamier. It was pretty damn good. So yeah, it was a nice little Christmas on our end as well. I
My
know
mom's,
you guys get
my,
cold
mo-
up there, huh? Mm,
my mom's is tamales and chili rellenos. That's what my
mm,
mom makes. Her
mm,
house. The other one was my Christina's side. My mom
mm.
just went Mexican, or her and my sister. They made the food. So yeah.
All right, right on. And any special gift for Mr. Lapachet? Any nice?
Um. Yes. What did I get? I got some clothes. What else they get? I know. Oh, I got some Ray Bans. That was my. That was my.
Oh,
I got.
nice.
Yeah, I got new glasses. I've been doing the dad thing, right? The whole gas station glasses thing for. Like every time I go on a trip, I just get a new pair of $5, $15
Yeah.
glasses. Well, my wife finally. I don't know if she or Santa. My bad.
All right,
But
close.
yeah,
Somebody
someone.
knew you needed glasses.
So I got my Ray Bans. Yeah. So now I
All
said
right.
no more gas station glasses for
No,
me.
I'm kind of that way too. Like I get the cheap ones because they'll break and I'll lose them. And I'm like, I'll just get another fucking pair,
That's
whatever.
right.
You know, shit.
And you know what, Miguel?
Mm.
They didn't look bad in pictures, right? When you're
Yeah.
standing fucking 10 feet away and you just got glasses on,
Yeah.
no one's like, oh, let me zoom in and see what kind those are. No one ever
Yeah.
give a shit. I'm past those days, bro. Like my Nikes now, you'll see a lot more that they're just white Nikes. They're not Air Forces anymore, right? Because the fuck cares, dude? Just give me a brand new pair of shoes. That's all I need, you know? I'm not.
Mhm.
Yeah, I guess I'm getting over the whole. They've got to be Air Forces, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm still at the stage where like I gotta keep them clean. I have to like
Mm,
wash them and keep them clean. I just gotta
definitely,
gotta make sure they're nice and because that's at some point you're like, who gives a fuck? They're dirty. It's like, yeah, but they still kind of look. They'll be nicer if you fucking wash them. I'm just saying.
and it's always a trip whenever you bring the brand new white ones to the ones that you tried keeping clean. They still look different. You're like, oh wow, okay,
Yeah.
I did need
Yeah.
to change those up. Thought they were white. Fuck,
Yeah. They're
more
like,
like a
wow, they look like eggshell or some shit.
yeah,
It's like
exactly.
cream colored, off white. I don't know. Do you guys have any plans for New Year's or like do you usually do something for New Year's or not?
N- We usually do house parties. Me and
Ah, all right.
Christina, yeah, we um last time I might have went. Yeah, it was been a while since we went out for New Year's. It's always been house parties. Family just gets together. We have pretty big families though, so it was always a
Mm,
nice party at least when you go. It's not like we just go with 4 people or something like that.
yeah.
But I don't know. I've always wanted to go out, but damn, it's so expensive, bro. You know, you say I want to do that, and then you go start looking at ticket prices and all that shit. And it's like everyone jacks up the prices into the hundreds because it's New Year's.
Hmm.
That's always kept us at home. And having 4 babies and unloading those 2 Christmas trees, it really do a dent in you come New Year's 7 days later.
Yeah, the piggy bank is a little lighter by the time New Year's
Exactly.
comes around. Yeah, no, that I don't have that particular situation myself, so we're planning to go. Are you familiar with Area 15 here? It's like some sort of weird. It's like a club, a bar, kind of weird stuff. I'm not even sure how to describe it, but if anybody knows, Area 15, it's just something to do here. They're having some sort of New Year's party, so we're gonna go do that. There's like
Nice.
the ticket that we buy is like a 2 hour only open bar. So it's like, all right, between 10 p.m. to midnight. It's like, all right, well, time to get fucking faded up in here. I'm telling you, 2 hours, we pay for the fucking ticket. So we're going to do that. So that's kind of
Nice.
our New
Hell yeah.
Year plans. So gotta iron the shirt. Gotta bring out the nice shirt. Gotta iron it. Make sure you're looking nice and
Nice.
crisp come New Year's Eve. Ring in 2025 with on a good note, right on
Oh
that.
yeah, I'm supposed to be on call on New Year's Eve.
Oh shit. Well,
Oh,
that's
they
okay.
got me, Miguel. They fucking got me.
They always
You know,
get
my boss, shout out to Jason, but my boss is standing up there like, hey, guys, we need some help after Christmas. If anyone wants to head, like, he didn't give us dates, right? He was just saying, I just need someone to take up the next week. If you guys want to help me out, I'll do Monday and Tuesday. It's nothing. Okay, Andrew, do Monday and Tuesday. That's cool. Thanks, Andrew. And some other guy took some days. Some other
me.
motherfucker, dude, that is New Year's Eve. I
Yeah.
called up first. I called up the foreman. Was like, bro, you guys didn't tell me these dates, man. You can't do that. And he starts laughing. He goes, I didn't. He goes, you're not on Christmas Eve. Let me check. Oh shit, I'm sorry. I said, oh, I know Jason got me. One of you knew. One of
Yeah.
you were giggling inside as Andrew was raising his hand for Tuesday.
Yeah.
Hey, I go, check this out, bro. I go, I'm not getting paid for New Year's because the guy who takes New Year's gets paid for being on call, right?
Okay.
I'm on call New Year's Eve, so I
Mm.
don't get paid. So that's all I said. Hey, you tell that guy who's on call at midnight, he better expect him to be on call. Don't be thinking I'm holding it until 7 in the morning. I'm not.
Yeah.
At 11 p.m. on the 31st, I'm
Yeah.
out. I'm out. Phone
It's
is
like
getting turned off, bro.
11:59 with 59 seconds. It's gone.
I'm out, man. Damn guys. So yeah, they
Yeah.
got me. But so I'll be on call for the first part of the day. But yeah, the young man knows
Mm.
at 11 p.m. 31st, he's already on call. I'm busy. That's what they're gonna get from me.
Mm. And rightfully so. And rightfully so. Oh man. All right. Well, now that we wanted to, we wanted to kind of give you guys a little bit of extra, a little more personal New Year's, Eve plans because it is New Year's Eve, and if I had a New Year's hat and I had one of those noisemakers, I'd have one for you right now, but I don't have that. But regardless, we will definitely be anticipating a very fruitful 2025 and see how that goes. We'll kick off with some of this news that we wanted to talk to you guys about. First and foremost, right? It appears as though this is fake news, but I wanted to jump off by talking about this. Andre Ward is supposedly coming back. Supposedly, right? After we took a look at all the, I don't know, all the websites that actually had reported this, that we come to find out later is no longer, the posts are no longer up. It appears as though it's fake news. So let me go ahead and bring this up because there were a couple of clues that kind of gave us the impression that it was indeed fake fucking news, right? So let's go ahead and bring that up because yeah, breaking, right? This is from this one. I guess it says Fight Night Updates. It's like a Facebook page.
Now, and Miguel,
Yes,
can I say something here?
please.
These stories are going to be attached to His Excellency, the Riyadh season, Turkey Ali Sheikh. This is a man that just tried to bring Klitschko back, right? He was in there. He was over there talking to Klitschko, asking him to come to return. So this is why we ran with the story very quick, and then we had to pull back on it. But go ahead, Miguel. I just want to say this is connected to the Riyadh season.
So it says, breaking, former world champion Andre Ward has signed a 3-fight deal with Riyadh season. The deal is worth $130 million. Official press conference and expected on Thursday in the Bay Area. Well, shortly after this story was posted, it was immediately pulled down. The web or the specific link was no longer available. So immediately, and this is according to Mike Benson, right?
I live in the Bay Area. There was no press conference.
There was no press conference. Yeah. So, it wasn't like, we try to be very vigilant and we try to stay on top of the stories that come out online. But at the same time, we try to do our fact checks. And when we saw this, we're like, $130 million. Hold the front door. Who the fuck is going to fork up? I mean, obviously, Riyadh season, right? I knew that. But it's like, really? They're going to, for somebody who did, 2 pay-per-views, right, with Sergey Kovalev? I don't know how good those pay-per-views did, or they were, towards the latter part, the last few years of HBO. But I was like, 130 million? I might have to, I don't know if I enter. It's one of those like memes of Ron Burgundy's like, I don't believe you. Yeah, I don't believe you. Yeah, I don't believe that shit. What was your first impression when you read this, Andrew?
I was happy for Andre, right? Okay. Look, I know His Excellency has been overpaying. While I did question the money, I thought, hey, 3 fights, congratulations to him. Right off the top, you would have to think if Andre was prepared to come back like a Sugar Ray Leonard and just jump in the fire, he would have fights out there like Saul Alvarez, David Benavidez, Eric Morrell, the winner of, not Eric Morrell, what's his name? David Morrell?
David Morrell, yes.
David Morrell. He would have fights like Beterbiev and Bivol. Now, these fights that I just named are some pretty good fights that would be happening for His Excellency. So could they make the money back? It's possible. because those fighters are doing so good over there in Riyadh season, Bivol and Beterbiev being two of them. I thought it was possible that this could be real. When I started looking more for I think I sent it to you. You kind of sent a kind of a face back, like, huh? Then I started digging a little bit more, started seeing like it wasn't. But like I said, he went after Klitschko, and I thought Andre's in a lot better shape than a Klitschko. So if his excellency was into trying to bring these guys back, maybe it was possible that Andre was being asked to come out of retirement. But as of right now, Ward hasn't even really spoke on the tweet that went out about him coming back. So, yeah, it looks like it's probably going to be a no. But it was interesting for about 5 minutes because of the names that he has. A lot of names there. Like, you got to remember, 5 years ago when he steps away, is Kovalev and who? Right? There really is no one at the light heavyweight division. There's no one at, cruiserweight or anything like that. And all of a sudden, then you got David Benavidez moving up to the division. You have Canelo Alvarez, who's been floating around there now. Now he can go 175. Just seems like the options were a lot more. Beterbiev and Bivol look human, right? Yeah. They don't look like these indestructible, freaks of nature anymore. They have great records, but just looked human in their fight, where maybe Andre was like, I could take him, And to be honest, let's go ahead and attach the next story, because that's what really brings this all together. Like, I gotta be honest. I'm gonna throw another one in here that I didn't give to Miguel. Manny Pacquiao's in Dubai right now. Just saying, right? Are these guys just out there fishing, right? Are they out there just throwing their name? Hey, Excellency. Antonio Tarver was out there. I'm sure he was like, hey, I'm ready. I'm ready. Yeah. What's my market like out here, right? Because the guy's into making fights. He's into making fights so much that he's looking for Klitschko to come back and fight the heavyweight champ. Remember, he said in Riyadh, anything is possible. That's what he means right there. Trying to bring Klitschko back out of retirement. That's insane. The guy's been through a war, Miguel. He's like been killing Russians and shit. And you're like, hey, you still want to fight? Would you like to box?
Yeah.
I don't know if you read the news lately, man.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because I remember reading or hearing about it. I didn't remember it at the time, but when Usyk first turned pro, like, he was like calling out Vladimir, because Vladimir was like, something, right? So there was, I mean, granted they're both Ukrainian, right? But I figured whatever had started then, I mean, obviously has since cooled off, but it's like, oh shit, there's a little bit of a backstory attached to this. So it's like, all right, well, if that is the route that His Excellency was trying to go with, like, all right, Klitschko, now this guy's a top motherfucker. Remember, he's the one that called you out, so maybe that made it seem possible.
He told both of them in an interview, you guys will have to leave before I come and have to take the thrones from you. Yeah, he tells them both that, man. Yeah. Usyk was crazy from the beginning.
Yeah, you see it in his eyes, right? They're like,
yeah,
Scarface. It's the eyes, Chico. Like, still seeing that motherfucker. Like, it's the eyes. Yeah, that's precisely it. But so, where I was getting with what I was mentioning is, we're not that gullible. We see something, we're like, hold the front door. But we wanted to bring it up because, hey, you know what? What if it actually is a legit story, and Andre Ward is coming back, but somebody accidentally spilled the beans? Like, no, don't say it yet. And maybe later on down the line, it does come up. That's the reason we wanted to mention it. But as of right now, it looks like it's probably not going to happen. And hell, maybe it's for the better, because I do remember, some time ago, well, also a very long time ago, when Ward had first retired, he mentioned that he left a lot of money on the table when he fucking left, right? It's like, I don't want to pursue this any longer. So maybe to some degree, some of that money's still there. And, His Excellency is like, all right.
Not only is the money still there, it got even bigger with this man, right? Because if His Excellency really does have a itch to see Andre back in the ring, if Andre is one of the fighters that he used to enjoy watching, not saying that it is, but if that is the case, you better believe the money's there. And the matchups are there. like I said, all those matchups I just named are all doable. Andre Ward
Mhm.
versus Saul Alvarez would be an awesome fight. Even if he was to come back. Look, Leonard came back after 5 years and fought
Mhm.
Hagler, you guys. They look it up. Like he comes back after a very long layoff and wins. Now I know it's a close decision. There's 50-50 each side, but the fact that you could come back and even pull that off, a
Yeah.
controversial loss decision, but he won. But you know what I'm saying, you
Right.
guys.
And
It's
heavier. He came back, had to come back at middleweight, right? Because I'm not. I remember him at one point campaigning at 154 very briefly. So I don't think because that was like one of the newer weight classes at the time, 154. There wasn't prior to that. And then he comes in and goes after the middleweight champion of the world, and somehow, I mean, it's controversial, and yes, it's very arguable. But point is, he won. In the record books, is he
yeah.
fucking won, so he did it. Um, that would be some shit if Andre
And
tries to do that. Yeah.
Andre was, how he's been doing his podcast lately.
Yeah.
He's been hinting about coming back.
Mm.
He did it with Roy Jones Jr. He's been putting out videos of him back in the ring working out. Like you said, Miguel, there might be other reasons why they haven't totally announced it yet. Maybe they're still going through the contract and someone came out a little too fast. I'm going to tell you what, we have a story in today's uh, news that we said a few weeks ago that we thought was fake, and that's the retirement of Lomachenko, right?
Mhm.
We announced that about 3 weeks ago, bro. Then we seen, oh, look, it got taken down. Oh, yeah, maybe it's gone. Oh, well, here it is again. 3 weeks later, now they're saying January 1st, and I'm sorry that I jumped the gun, but just giving you guys examples of possible fake. But if you're asking a 50-something-year-old Klitschko to come back, I can't see this one being that far out of reach that Andre be asked to come back to take on one of the four big light heavyweights right now. And Morrell probably shouldn't be in that same category, but he's matched up with Benavidez, so I got to put,
Mhm.
if he was to beat Benavidez, he would be one of the big four right now. So yeah, definitely some it was some good news early on. It seemed like we were getting. It was like boxing was really thriving, and we got, because Miguel, one story we're gonna have to hit on today. His Excellency released the schedule, bro,
Mhm.
and that is a whole show in itself. Did
Mhm.
you see the names? Did you see how long? Remember when we talked about there's too many chefs for the kitchen, Miguel?
Yeah.
That is a pretty big freaking upcoming fight schedule he has. You don't want to get lost in that list, dude.
Sure.
Oh, you're not accepting my fight? Soup. You're down
Yep.
90 fucking bouts before you're coming back.
Yeah. You'll come. We'll see you in August. Like fuck.
It was, yeah, Des, it is insane what he has on the schedule. Will it all play out? Who knows? We'll go over some of it. But he's taking over the boxing world.
Mm.
He's definitely taking over the boxing world.
And let's not count our hit or what is it, count our chickens before they hatch or whatever, or count our eggs,
Yes.
because we don't know if those fights are actually going to take place. Injuries could happen. There could be fighters that pull out. It happens. Now it wouldn't be in their best interest if they did pull out, but if they needed to, or there's some sort of injury or some other thing, because I mean we did I mean it's not like he hasn't tried it before. We tried to have Crawford and Madrimov, and then who was it, Virgil Ortiz and Tim Tszyu, and then that didn't happen. And then with Beterbiev and who was Beterbiev and Bivol, and I forgot who else was going to be on that
And
card.
Cruz, they wanted Cruz to do a quick turnaround. That
Yeah,
didn't happen. The
right.
Pitbull, yeah.
So
Yep.
it's possible. I mean, it's very ambitious. We see that schedule, and we'll get into it shortly. But that schedule that Ring Magazine or on their Instagram, I think is also their Facebook page released. It's like, oh shit. I mean, the majority of these fights are His Excellency's doing, because some of them had, like, one of them was Clarissa Shields, and I don't think she has anything to do with Riyadh season. So it's like not all of those fights are his, but regardless, the majority of them are. So
Yeah.
very very ambitious, but. The reason we brought up this possible fake news with Andre Ward is because there was another announcement of another comeback coming up that seems pretty legit, because number one, the post is still up, and number two, it is a pretty reputable source. Floyd Mayweather is set to return, and he is set to earn $370 million for his first fight with Riyadh season in April, reported by Dan Raffel. Wow. Okay. So let's think about that for a second. 370 million bucks for one fucking fight. It's not even the whole, amount of his whole damn deal. Um, when the hell did he talk to His Excellency? We don't know, but apparently they already have a slot in April at some point for him to fight. I'm assuming it will take place in Saudi Arabia. It doesn't specify in this
Has to.
post here,
It
but
has to.
I'm sure it's gonna occur over there. Um, what kind of fan base is going to follow Floyd over there? I don't know. We can get into that, of course, all those yummy details, but $370 million. Not only that, but no opponent named yet. Huh. We've talked about it several shows before earlier in the year. Is he coming back to sell that O? $370 million is a pretty nice paycheck to sell
Yeah.
that fucking O. So,
That'll get you
and
out of a lot of debt, Miguel.
yes, that will
That'll
get you
get you out
a
of a
lot
lot of
of
debt.
legal debt as well. But all right, Andrew, what did you think when you first read this?
Congratulations to Floyd. I don't want to knock him. Hard work paid off if this holds true. Um, it 370 sounds like a lot of money, but Floyd used to make 125 million, we'll say, per fight at the end of his days. So they had to increase the purse to get him out of retirement, right?
Mm.
Um, so 370 doesn't sound like it's that far off of trying to get a guy who's Money Mayweather off his couch. Um, Obviously Floyd knows he would be up against it, so they even had to juice up the pot even a little bit more, right? Because he's been out of the ring so long. The guys are going to be a lot younger. They're going to be ready for him. So yeah, it sounds like a lot of money, but I think they would make it back, Miguel. I really do. If they put it in Riyadh, in over there in Riyadh, they have all the millionaires from the UK. They have all the millions from Riyadh season, Saudi Arabia, Dubai. They're all showing up. This thing would be like only for the upper class. It would be the F1 of our sport, right? You would only see guys in yachts pulling up to this fight. It can be done though. He does have that fan base. I mean, you ever been to a Floyd fight? Tiger Woods, Brad
Mm.
Pitt, Angelina Jolie, Denzel Washington, Leonardo DiCaprio, Jack Nicholson, all of the big headliners of Hollywood would sit ringside. Puffy, not that great anymore,
No, not
but
anymore. Not
yeah,
Mr.
but
Diddy. No, not anymore.
damn it.
Maybe not even Jay-Z anymore.
And he's on the list, but we'll go past that. Um, But anyways, you know what I'm saying, dude.
Mhm.
All A-listers will be there. I think they make their money back. I really do think this is an investment that Riyadh would want to look into doing because it's the ball. It's a passing of the torch that we never got, And seriously, with now Manny vacationing out there, do
Mm.
we get the rematch as the first fight or one of the fights, right?
Mm.
Um, just to bring them both back in. So yeah, it was a interesting. When was this? Probably Monday that we had with all this news dropping because really both of these stories dropped in the same day.
Yeah.
The Andre Ward and the Floyd
Which is why
Mayweather.
we thought it was legit because we're like, oh shit,
Exactly.
back to back. Yeah.
And he's doing a takeover. You guys, he a list of fights that he has coming up on the Ring Magazine website. I have to believe he's in somewhat attached to all these fights. Some way, somehow, he's buying his way into these fights,
Mm.
and it's a total takeover. It's a total takeover. We've seen it coming, and why not add, the biggest name of the last era? That would be Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, and Andre Ward is just simply one of the greatest of all time, right? Kid's been undefeated for so long. He is like a Usyk. Usyk was undefeated, I guess, for 14 years or saying now.
Mm.
Well, Andre Ward had that story years ago, right? You're a little late to that one. So just excellent time for boxing. Sucks that we still have to go over to Saudi Arabia to get this money as me and Miguel did a little searching on what's going on over there in Saudi Arabia. And while they have come a long ways as far as allowing this new Saudi prince, he's a younger man and he's trying to change the culture out there. They're light years away from Vegas, right? We can agree to that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Um,
They're at the very beginning at this point.
yeah, basically it's almost, I ain't the smartest guy, but me and him we put the numbers in Google on what it's cost to get into one of the first clubs. They only have one club, you guys. There's only one nightclub in Riyadh season. It costs how much, Miguel?
745 bucks.
$745
Pretty much a car
American.
payment, you know, modern day car payment. Maybe the amount of a studio apartment for rent kind of thing here in the United States.
That's
That's
a good one.
essentially what that is. It's like how much I repair for my fucking fuel pump or some shit,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that.
Ugh.
And we were joking about it earlier. You can't just go up to the fucking bouncer and be like, "Here's a 20, let me cut the line." Like, no, that dude will blow his nose with that shit, dude.
Might get arrested for that.
It's a good point.
So
Yeah.
so yeah, they do have a nightclub. There is no alcohol still. It's still banned out there. A lot of things are banned. They're light years away from Las Vegas. So we have growing pains still to do, even though it does look like there's nothing we're going to be able to do about it. It's all moving out there. That's just where it's going.
Now, that being said, and we'll get into it later on because we want to talk about the specifics the research that we had done basically. Um, Floyd's fan base, I'm sure they can do stuff here in Vegas. They can't do stuff over there. Things that they can get away with here and not over there. Will there even be any fan base to follow some over there? Now, you did, and this is one of the questions I wanted to ask you is maybe like guess who can potentially be his first opponent. You mentioned earlier possibly somebody like Floyd, and we kind of got into the topic of Sugar Ray Leonard when we were talking about Ward a few moments ago, saying like, well, Sugar Ray came back, yada yada. If I did the calculations correctly, Sugar Ray came back at 31, 32. These guys, he's 47 now. Floyd is
Now that's
47.
not that is that for Hagler though.
I think it is because it says here he was born in 1956. All right. So 1956 is when he was born, and he came back to fight Hagler in 87. So I think and maybe it's a
So
little
he's
bit
still
under,
he's in his 30s.
is early 30s. So we're talking, I mean, Floyd being 47, and I'm not even sure how old Ward is anymore, but it's a little bit of a different scenario. Now, mind you, we talked about it before. The 20s are the new, or the 30s are the new 20s now in boxing, right? With
Yeah, but
guys
that
like
is bigger.
so that will come in. But I mean, his last fight I think was 2017. I think it was. I mean, not the. I'm talking about Floyd Mayweather. I'm not talking
Berto
about. Yeah, it was Berto, but not whenever the
McGregor.
hell it was, McGregor. Yeah, I forgot what year that was. But his actual last fight. He's 47 now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, he might not come back. If he's gonna come back, he's not gonna go after the number one dude in the fucking weight class that way Sugar Ray was gonna, because Sugar Ray was still in his early 30s at the time, so he thought he could still do that. I'm sure Floyd is smarter than that. He's like, well, I'm not gonna try to go after, if he comes back at middleweight, he's not gonna go after like Johnny Beck or something like that, right? Or I mean, I don't know,
He's
154.
never
Whatever
gonna fight that guy.
Right.
He's never
He's
gonna
not gonna
fight that
fight.
guy.
He's not gonna fight
If
the
Floyd
fucking
came back, you're looking at Pacquiao, Crawford, Alvarez.
right.
That's it. That's all he's doing here. The 370 million doesn't allow him to fight anybody else. They need these fights to be grand slams. The only way, and Manny is borderline grand slam. That would only be because some prince over there in Saudi Arabia wanted to see it, really. I think the fight as it got closer would probably generate more eyeballs, but it's not like anyone out the gate would be clamoring for it. I do think at the right price in America, it would still be viewed, though, by millions. Yeah.
Even after the way they stunk up the house in their first fight, I'm talking about
At the
Floyd
right
and Manny.
price, at the right price, think about Leonard. I'm going to go back to Leonard. Think about Leonard Duran. Duran literally says no moss. They come back and do 2 more fights. Right? They don't care. The fans don't care. The fans, as long as they can crack a beer and watch some entertainment and see these 2 guys throw down, I think they're going to show up at the right price. And right now, it seems like the Riyadh season is trying to give the fans an honest pay-per-view with either it being $40 or $20. That's a lot better than probably $100 that we were paying at the end of Floyd's career.
Do you think we're gonna get that? I mean, do you think Floyd's gonna come back and be like, no, my pay-per-views are no fucking $40?
It's not up to him. That's one thing, you guys. You got to remember, their egos are out the window now. As a boxer, you're not calling shots over this man or his affiliates or anything. When you go to Riyadh, you belong to Riyadh. Sorry, I don't mean to say
Yeah.
it, mean to be that blunt, but that's what this is,
Mhm.
right? You're getting paid good money in a sport that was kind of floundering. It really
Mhm.
is. Our pay-per-view numbers are low. We have no platforms. The fucking face of our sport, one of the top 3 fighters in the world, is only getting $2.5 million on a payout. That's bad. That's not a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Saul Alvarez, his pay-per-views hasn't hit 1 million in how long? So we were all kind of, we were kind of, I'm not gonna say on the lifeline, but we were getting close for it being on a fucking
Yeah.
intensive care unit. Boxing
Yeah.
was.
We were like
I
break in case of emergency, like at that point.
Yes, I mean Miguel, we're not even scheduled to be on the 20. Was it 28 Olympics? They don't
Oh,
even have
that's right.
boxing on the
Yeah.
schedule. So let's hope His Excellency can spark a flame under this fire again for at least the USA side of boxing. I will say Europe's been doing fine. Europe
Mhm.
seems like every fight they put on over there has 80,000 people. They're all fucking singing. They're happy. Everybody's happy. Chisora could win. The crowd's still happy. Like you
Yeah.
know what I mean? There is no
Yeah.
booing over there. If Ricky Hatton loses, they're still fucking singing.
Mhm.
It's like what the hell? So yeah, it's a big difference where America is with everyone else. I'm hoping His Excellency can bring that back. I don't know what the end game we have. We were literally, you want to know how bad it was, people? I was hoping Jake Paul, Mike Tyson numbers. Come on, Miguel, think about it. I was hoping those numbers were going to bring back our sport. Are you fucking like? That's where we were at. I was leaning on a social media guy.
Mhm. And the
So
56-year-old. So on that note, okay, so Floyd can't come and say, no, no, I want my pay-per-view to be $80 or whatever, right? He kind of
no,
has no say there. Well, this is a different era than when Leonard came back to fight Hagler, or when he came back to have his trilogy or whatever the fuck it was with Duran. With there is illegal streaming now. So will they make that money back? They're gonna fork up a lot of fucking cash. Yes, people will go there and watch it, but and we've talked about it before. I'm not sure if they necessarily give two fucks about pay-per-view revenue. They can make it in other ways over there. At least that's what they're trying to do. But that will be one of the ways they can make it up. With the streaming that goes on now, it is a different era now. It isn't that 80s or early 90s any longer. Although even then we still stole cable, regardless. But regardless, my point is now with the illegal streaming services or illegal streaming sites, would that encourage His Excellency to be like, damn, I maybe do have to make it $60 because if we're gonna lose out on money on people stealing this shit,
if
at least they can sort of make it up with the ones that do order it.
if you have to stream a $40 pay-per-view, you're probably watching the wrong sport, right?
Mm,
The jerseys cost more nowadays. The seats at live games cost more nowadays. I mean, they're literally going back in time with this $40 pay-per-view thing for us.
yeah.
If you can't afford that, get out of boxing. Boxing is a rich man's sport. This is not the UFC. The UFC is not boxing. So I understand why people that were used to paying dirt cheap prices are getting a little mad that their prices are going so high over there now. That was never the case for them. In boxing, it's always been the case from the first time, from the very first champions we had. We had $1 million fighter in the recession, right? In the years of the recessions, we still had fighters that made $1 million. So, um, it's yeah, I don't know what to say to you guys that can't afford $40 on a on a Floyd Mayweather pay-per-view. It's either you're too cheap to do it or you're watching the wrong sport. But
Well, or they don't want to give Floyd their money. They want to watch it, but they don't want to give Floyd their money.
I could understand that at $100 to watch him fight Berto. I can understand that, but to watch him fight Saul Alvarez, you're telling me you won't fork up $40. You're the problem. It's
Mm.
not. It's not Floyd, and it's not His
It's not the
Excellency,
price.
right? It's not
Yeah,
the yeah. It's not. $40 can't get you a lot anymore. You know what I mean? So we
yeah,
should be not grateful, but at least happy that the man is still giving it to us for
yeah.
this price.
Just
20,
satisfied, content.
20. I was just like, fucking take my money, take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, $20, bro. I ain't giving a shit. I
It's
watch
not. It's
everything.
not a $745 ticket to a club. We're talking about to $20 or $40 to watch
I could
something you
already
could.
hear my wife. You don't ever want to do shit. Like what? It's
Yeah.
It's 1,600, babe.
It's like we don't always go out, babe. We
To
should just do it once in
dance.
a while. Yeah,
To just dance too. You're not drinking, Miguel.
yeah.
There
I
will
know.
be
It's
no
like,
drinking. There will be no smoking. There's just you and her smiling away as the DJ flips
right?
records. Not
Everybody
even live music, bro. Not even live music. Just some guy up there doing this. Feel that?
like,
Do you feel that?
when I shit, yeah, scratching the shit. It's like
Look,
everybody's
another build up. Here it comes
yeah.
again.
Here, wait for the bass to drop. Everybody's sober as shit because there's no fucking alcohol over there. Like
Exactly.
everybody's just like do 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 do. All right. Well, but that is intriguing. It says I guess we're gonna find out sooner rather than later because according to this it says April, and we already are at the end of December, heading into January. So we're talking about 4 months tops, basically before the end of the first or starting the second quarter of the year. We're gonna get Floyd back in the ring. Holy shit! So I assume that within the next month we're gonna start getting more information, who he's going to face. How we're gonna watch it, is it gonna be pay-per-view? Is it gonna be? I mean, I'm assuming it will be, but his opponent, where is specifically? I guess obviously Saudi Arabia, but where? What venue? I mean,
The big question,
Mm.
Miguel, do you want to see the rematch or do you want to see Terrence Crawford? Which one do you want more from Floyd?
Oh man, wait, hold on. Rematch with Manny or rematch with Saul?
With Saul, fuck
Oh,
Manny. Manny was easy
well,
work, eh?
yeah, it was. And
Manny was easy work.
It was. It always was.
Manny, exactly. He could never. Hey, Freddie Roach told us in the second Marquez fight, he can't stop a right hand. He told us. He lost all hope for Manny in that right hand defense in that second fight with Marquez. He knew damn well he lost that damn fight, man. So I don't think Manny was ever going to beat Floyd. He might have had, enough to make it interesting. But Floyd's right hand was always going to dominate that fight. No, I'm talking Saul Alvarez. I'm talking Terrence Crawford. Who do you want more?
Okay, so if I can be selfish, I would say Saul because I want to get that win back. I want to get that back. I for the sake of the sport, for the overall health and well-being of the sport, passing the torch to somebody like Crawford would make sense, and it would just keep that lineage going for the sport. If I'm going to be selfish, I would much rather have Saul, and now this Saul and against that Floyd.
I
would
think
wanna
it
get that back.
breaks most views in Mexico of all time for a sporting event.
Mhm.
If done right, if played right, I think that one would
Breaks
break.
it, you think?
I
Like more
think it
than
would
Chavez
break
City?
it. Yes.
Huh.
Yes.
Okay.
There's more. The population is bigger. The reach for
Yeah, but the
TVs.
hate is bigger on him, man.
Exactly.
The
The
love
population is bigger.
um,
The hate's bigger. The reach of the TV is bigger. You'd have more people tuning in. Now you can tune in with your phones. If they're doing a DAZN pay-per-view, people are watching it on phones, tablets, TVs. I think it's huge. I think it would be freaking huge. Terrence Crawford, I love you to death, but you don't
no.
make a splash when you're talking
For,
Saul versus
for
Floyd.
the hardcores, like we said, just for the sake of passing the torch and selling that to that continue that lineage to somebody like Crawford. Okay, but no, I would totally want to get that win back or the loss,
Yeah.
whatever you call it.
And you have a third fight.
Oh
So
yeah,
he,
if Saul wins, yes, we have our
yeah,
trilogy. Yeah.
yeah.
That would not be wow. Yeah, that'd be some shit. I mean, but again, Saul is one of the dudes who has, turned his excellency away. Maybe, because it's not going to be. I mean, I don't suspect that it's going to be his excellency going to Saul again and be like, "All right, now do you want to deal? We have Floyd." I don't think it's going to be him going to Floyd. I mean, him going to Saul, but rather Saul being like, "Oh shit, okay, let me get his excellency on the phone, and he'll be
He
the one calling." I suspect.
he did talk about going back to Saul for Terrence, though. He did say that in an interview. He said
Oh,
we're going to talk to Saul again about the Terrence Crawford fight. That fight just seems like it's just no one's interested in it, and I'm talking about the public. I'm not talking, I know them two are interested in it because there's millions of dollars to be made, but it does not look like the public is interested in that fight, and it's only died down. Um, so I think he would be because we're talking serious money here. We're talking serious money. Um, the zone would be breaking into Mexico big time. They'd probably get a lot of subscriptions. We talked about this the other day. His Excellency was saying that if you subscribe to the Ring magazine, you could get pay-per-views at a cheaper price. I don't know if you heard about
mm,
this. but
I remember
very
you
cool.
mentioning it, but I don't
That
remember reading it.
that type of fight would have your Ring magazine probably #1 again in the world.
Mhm.
Like shit, man. You save $20 by spending, $20, or save however much price they're gonna match it. But I thought that was a great idea for him. Never Oscar didn't think of that one. And what a fight to attach it to would be a comeback of Floyd, even if it wasn't Saul, just the comeback of Floyd to see how many people diehards would respond by purchasing the magazine. Be pretty cool.
I'm not sure if it was a matter of Oscar not thinking of that one or just not needing it, because I think the sport of boxing was in a better position then, where they're like, well, we don't need to be doing these kind of promos and shit like that. I think that was probably more so. I mean, it could be very well that they just didn't think of it, but I didn't think that they needed. It seemed as though boxing was in a better position at the time, that they didn't have to have those thinking caps to come up with these ideas. I think but now the position that the sport is in, they kind of have to pull out all the stops, like any fucking ideas. Oh shit, okay, cool. I just bought Ring magazine. Yeah, if you can, pay for a subscription, you'll get X amount of pay-per-views for free, or discounted or stuff like that. I think because of the way it is now, the the state that is in now, the condition that the boxing is in, they have to come up with these kind of promos.
I mean, imagine if they had a coupon inside a sleeved magazine, a sealed one,
Mhm.
and you buy the magazine at a Safeways or whatever. When's the last time we've seen a magazine in a store, right? Yet
Mhm.
he might have them back on the shelves with something like this going on. Hopefully not being stolen, but you know what I mean. You know what
Right.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it's just a good idea. Floyd's got the time is running out. 47 is
Yeah.
kind of old. We're starting to get into the gimmicky Mike Tyson area if you wait any longer. Um, so if it does happen, it needs to be in April. We need to get the ball rolling. At least get him a comeback fight, and then the big showdown at the end of the year with whoever they want to match him up
Yeah.
with. Hoping it would be the rematch with Saul Alvarez. And what pressure would be on Alvarez, huh? You lose this fight, bro, and you taint everything that you've accomplished in the sporting world. You
Hmm.
become Floyd's bitch on that night. If you
Yeah.
lose a 12-round decision, you're nothing more than Floyd Mayweather's fucking opponent. So
Hmm.
it's a crazy fight for Saul too.
Now, let's talk about the money, I guess, for a second. We were kind of under the impression, and we just go, I mean, I guess we're just trying to connect the dots, but when we would hear stories about Floyd owing this person or owing this person and then being detained in Abu Dhabi or Dubai, whatever the fuck it was, it seemed as though he's was in some money troubles. We suspect,
Right.
right? I mean, that's one of the reasons why coming back and selling the O was so lucrative, or could have been so lucrative, could be still, to him, because he's kind of in dire need. But wouldn't how can I explain it? Like, we talked about it earlier about certain promoters or certain streaming services like starving fighters a little bit. If people know that Floyd is starving, or at least his excellency, you think he would offer that much money? Like, would it be like, no, 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 I know that you're broke, I know you need money, we're gonna say I'm gonna give you the fucking check that I want to give you? Because for somebody who could be, starving for money like Floyd, 370 million, it's as if he's the most fucking valuable thing in the goddamn world, but if he's kind of starving for money, wouldn't they kind of like, wouldn't that give his excellency a little bit of leverage of to not give him that much money, to just kind of maybe lowball him?
I think it's $1 billion night though. I think they profit on this night.
Even
When you
with
add
that
up
370 that they're gonna
300,
give him.
yeah, because they're making $1 billion coming back. When you look at where the location of Riyadh is,
Mhm.
right? Like I said, you're gonna have millionaires from all over the globe basically showing up to this fight. Um, you would have a pay-per-view viewership that he hasn't seen before, right? No one has brought pay-per-views like Floyd. Nobody, right? So I do think that the fans would respond. I would hope that they don't stream, but Floyd really has never had a problem of streaming. This is a man who generated 5 million buys in one night. Him and Manny, 5 million.
No, I think it was
Him and
four. I think it was four.
4 million. Him
Yeah.
and McGregor, 2 point something million.
Hmm. Hmm.
These are numbers that other people have never done before. So they can make that money back, and with the interest that I think of what that arena would look like, the power houses that would be in that arena that night, I don't think they have any problem dishing out the 370. It's coming back. It would
Hmm.
damn near come back in just the customers that you probably had in Riyadh that week. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
The cars that would be sold at these events, the
Yeah, right.
jewelry that would be sold at these events, you know?
Mhm,
So I think it's only one of a kind. He is our F1. It would be
mhm.
a F1 race for us.
All right, all right, all right.
And
So yeah,
Saul. And Sewell. We got to give
well,
Sewell. We got to give the other guy credit too, because I don't think Berto would generate $1 billion.
no,
I really don't.
right, no,
Yeah.
no. So let's kind of play with the opponents for a little bit. It says it's if I can get back to this fucking thing, 3 fight deal. If I believe I read it right. Yeah. Let's see. It said his. Oh, it says his first fight. Never mind. Hold on. Maybe am I reading it wrong? Let me read the thing
Yeah,
real
no,
quick.
I think that was for one fight, dude.
No, no. I thought. Okay, never mind. Oh, I must be confusing it with fucking
Andres.
Andre Ward. Never mind. Okay. But anyway, all right. I mean, let's say that happens. Um, because it says his first fight with Riyadh season, so that's what the post says, implying that there's going to be more. Right now, how many more? I don't know, but at least two, according to this. Right, if it's going to be his first fight, we can surmise that we're talking about no less than 2 fights. So, Saul, Crawford, Saul, Manny Saul.
I think it would be Manny Sewell because Manny's
Okay.
a little bit easier of a match. Manny would bring the interest, right? There would still be a lot of fans that were interested in seeing this fight.
Hmm.
And it's kind of I'm not going to say it's a clear victory for Floyd, but at least he's already
Okay.
beaten Manny 8-4, right?
Mm.
He's already gotten that victory. You just do a do-over of that fight and we move on to the next one. But it generates the eyeballs that they would need to see where Floyd's market is at this point.
All right, fair enough. That makes sense. All right. Well, I mean, that's kind of I think all the questions I had for that fight. But um, I let's see if this is legit. Let's see if I mean again, this is just being reported by people like Dan Rafael and Michael Benson. So this one most certainly looks a lot more legitimate than the Andre Ward news. But who knows? Who knows? We'll see when we get to that point there. Okay, so I think we spent enough time talking about this one, but we can continue. One of the stories that we wanted to talk about last week that we kind of sort of ran out of time is the announcement of 140-pound matchup, which we're looking forward to. Jack Catterall taking on Arnold Barbosa Jr. Apparently, the fight is scheduled to take place the February 15th in Manchester. That's a pretty good matchup. Like it's I know Catterall is kind of after that loss to Josh Taylor, he came back and got the win back, and then he's kind of been on a bit of a what's the word a streak. So he's going to end up fighting Barbosa, who's undefeated, and it's going to be on DAZN. It's going to be one of those. It's just from Manchester, so it's going to be one of those early morning ones. I don't know if any other fights are taking place on the 15th, but if there are any other fights, let's say ESPN Plus or something like that, well, we don't have to be flip flopping and flying, toggling back and forth. We can just watch the DAZN card in the morning, and then maybe the ESPN Plus card in the evening, or whatever DAZN. Maybe there's another DAZN card that later that evening. But that's a pretty good matchup, huh? 140-pound dudes. I'm down with that one. That's going to be a pretty solid fight, I think.
One of those fights we probably wouldn't have gotten without this whole thing being taking place over there in Riyadh, right? These are just two guys that don't generate a lot of money. So you say let's stay away from each other and get a shot at Telefimo, because that's where this leads to.
Hmm.
When Eddie Hearn and De La Hoya made the announcement, they made the announcement saying that this was the final what is it,
Title
title
eliminator.
eliminator. There you
Yeah,
go. It
yeah.
was the final title eliminator. The winner of this fight gets Telefimo Lopez, and then you heard Eddie Hearn go, "Well, that's if Telefimo doesn't move out of the way, move up to 147 and leave his belt." We now know that Lopez is not leaving the division.
Yes, that's what it. Well, and we'll get to that momentarily because I know there's not too much to talk about as far as like
Just announce it. You
Catterall.
could just announce it though, and we'll move on with this one.
Yeah, we will do that. Apparently, Teofimo Lopez is going to be making his return to the ring March 15th. He's going to be taking on who? is often considered the boogeyman at 140, Subriel Matias. If you remember him, he recently had lost his, I believe it was his IBF title to Liam Paro, or Perot. I could have sworn it was Paro, but I mean, people say Perot now. But anyway, regardless. We know who Subriel Matias is, that he's kind of considered the boogeyman at 140. And, maybe Teofimo saw him lose to Liam Paro and said, yeah, I can beat that guy, and he's gonna apparently do it, and he's gonna defend the belt. And damn, that's a dangerous ass fight. That's a dangerous ass fight because Matias is no fucking joke, right? We know he literally has a body on his record, so that's some serious shit. Dude has got some punching power. I don't know if Teofimo would fight the way Paro did, because I think one of the reasons Liam Paro won is his style, and specifically his the game plan that he had going into that fight. I don't think Teofimo can do that same kind of. I mean, Teofimo's a special dude. I'm not going to say he isn't, and I'm not
Right.
saying that he's the kind of person that wouldn't be able to do that, but that kind of hit and run and move kind of tactics that Liam Paro had to do against a power hitter, a power puncher, a powerhouse like Matias. I don't think Teofimo even wants to do that shit. It's like, no, I'm the fucking man in this weight class.
We'll say
Let's get head to head.
we'll say this: the Lopez that beat Lomachenko will beat Matisse. How do you say his last?
Matias. Matias.
Matias. Matias. The Lopez that went up against Sandin Martin
Yeah.
might not beat him. So we don't know what Lopez we're gonna get. Are we gonna get the pound for pound Lopez, or we can get the Lopez going? Do I still got this, you guys? Do I
Yeah.
still got this?
Like, tell me the truth, y'all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Or
yeah.
we can, and mind you, we might get the one that beat Loma, because what we heard recently, he's now with the Reynosos, right? So
Yes.
that might change things. It's not going to be his daddy like, what the fuck? Take him out already, in
We
his
got
corner.
to party. There's
Yeah.
a party, Lopez. Oh my gosh! After the fight, don't you know about the bar?
Come on, bro. Just take this guy out already. Let's go. No, man, that's not. He's not gonna have any more of those in his corner. He's gonna have, Eddie Reynoso and being like, "No, bro, you're gonna have to do upper body movement, yada yada yada,
Yeah.
right, to get this." So, and he just went to the Reynoso, so this is gonna be his first fight. Oh, it's kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
It's just like, not even a
Changing the
test run
style.
with somebody. Yeah, changing the style against a pretty. Live. He's gonna be in the underdog, but he's like a live underdog. Like live ammo fucking underdog in Matias. Wow, and they had the post itself doesn't specify where it's going to take place, but if it's here in Vegas, I'm gonna try to go. I'm gonna try to go to that one. I'll try to hit that one because that's going to be some fireworks, right?
Yeah.
Right off the bat, we
Yeah.
know there's gonna be some fireworks, and I mean, it'll be a very strange situation, but let's say I don't know, whoever wins, Catterall or Barbosa, and they all want Teofimo, but if Teofimo loses, we can get, it might be worse though. They might be like, shit, let's hope Teofimo fucking wins because I don't want to face that motherfucking Matias, you know what I'm saying? That's gonna be one of those kind of situations. But
Definitely.
um
Definitely, this is an example of the benefits of having a global boxing network. We're talking about 4 fighters here that probably never would have faced each other without Riyadh season being active. Um, all of those guys were basically, with the Matias, not so much because he just took a defeat, but Lopez, Catterall, and Barbosa were all probably looking at landing bigger fish here, right? And we would have stayed with the mandatories or with just regular nobodies fighting hand-picked, cherry-picked guys until they got their shot. Now they have to fight for it. And basically, that's what His Excellency is telling them.
so that being said, I know we kind of said we kind of briefly talked about which Teofimo is going to show up. So uh, based off of what we're talking about, him being now with Reynoso's, how do you see that fight going? How do you think the fight's going to go? I mean, we'll get into predictions later on because it's still several
Well,
months ahead.
I don't really have too much confidence in the young man Matias.
Mhm.
He got outboxed by an Australian boxer, right? And no knock to Sam, but they're not known for having, the greatest boxers over there. Not saying that Paro isn't a good one, but when you come to America, when you come to Lopez, you're looking at the best of the best, right? And now when you team him up, excuse me, I ain't got a tickle in my throat. When you team him up with the Reynosos, this should be a double whammy for him. He's got one of the best trainers in the game right now. he was also one of the best fighters before that. So I have him. I have Lopez a clear favorite going into this fight. Now the kid does have power though. He has knockout power. I haven't seen it. I've only heard about it. Got to remember the one time I seen it or I seen him, he loses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's your fault, Matias. You should not have lost that fight, especially in your hometown
Right.
or home country. He loses in Puerto Rico, bro. It was freaking crazy.
Yeah.
That was a crazy decision loss he took. So yeah, I'm not too high on him. I know this fight needs to be done. This is one of those just clearing the path for Lopez. So it's a good fight for Lopez, comeback fight, first fight with Reynoso, kind of show him what they can do, and then you move on to the big match. Um, big question would be the winners. Are they going to meet at Riyadh or do they meet in their hometowns? That's going to be interesting going forward. Like the money probably says go to the UK if Catterall wins, right?
Mm-hmm.
The dude's
Mm-hmm.
kind of huge out there with the Josh Taylor 2 fights, and then beating Barbosa would put another feather on his hat. You would think that you would want to take it to the UK, but is that fair to the champ, to Lopez, who's done
That's
so
true.
much?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, would it be fair? He knows he's going to get a good chunk of that money. So it's granted, he might think that he's going to be up against his opponent and the judges. So maybe that might, kind of sway him from doing so. But when they have a packed fucking arena, O2 or whatever, there, that might change his mind.
We're going to be tested in this because Americans never had to face this. Now you might have to go to the UK, put your belt on the line against someone who's lesser than you because you make more money, or you have to go to Riyadh, longer flight. The UK shorter there. They're going to have more fans there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to be a test for a lot of these American boxers that never had to put up with this before. We've been used to our hometown cooking. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, be interesting. And I still got to say the culture shock is even something that Americans need to get familiar with. I do know there's a thing called a private jet, and you can bring all of your boys with you. But do you really want to spend $745 per head to get into the club?
A dry club at that.
Yeah, yeah. It's just
Yeah. No,
good
I hear you.
culture
Yeah.
shock.
Yes, and we'll definitely go into details then on that a little bit later on. So yeah, that will be interesting though. I'm looking forward to see because with Matias, he's got that great equalizer, right, which is the power, which is he's intending to do something to Teofimo that not many people have done, with the exception of Cambosos, and even then, Cambosos got knocked down later in the fight and did win the decision. But for him to stop Teofimo, that's going to be quite a tall task. And no knock on Liam Paro, but Liam Paro put on the performance of his life against Matias, and then his next fight he loses the belt. Fuck. So that's to add on to your point that Matias should not have lost that fight with Paro, but he fucking won it anyway. I mean, he lost it anyway. But that will be interesting. I'm looking forward to that because we've been hearing a lot of rumors about Teofimo, whether or not he's going to go up to 147 and fight, so and so. Is he going to fight? Well, we've heard, right, the offers being sent to Haney and
I know.
and
What is Haney
Cambosos.
doing? What is taking this kid so long, man?
Yeah, I think he thinks he's probably going to cash out a lot in some in that lawsuit or something, counter lawsuit or whatever the shit is going on with Ryan Garcia. I suspect he thinks he's going to get paid big time, and it's kind of one of those things where like so you're you get hurt at work, and then like you're like, oh yeah, I'll get paid down the line, so you're not working, and then you're not get paid, and like, fuck, I just spent 2 years not working, and I'm not gonna
exactly.
Get paid. That's what it seems. Yeah,
exactly. And then don't do the I'm gonna stay out. What is he on suspension like Ryan? You're gonna come back and just fight Garcia? Because it seems like they've been kind of softening up to them two coming back. Did you see Ryan posted the other day? All right, bro, I accept your apology. We'll meet again when I'm done with this suspension or some shit. Did you read that? Yeah. So it looks like they're both. But so what are you going to do? Sit on the sidelines until your guy comes back? It's a weird. The Devin Haney story has gotten real weird. His dad got weird on us. His dad starts fucking sounding like he's snorting coke on fucking the Instagram. Never clears that. And I'm dead serious, Bill. You never cleared that up. Was that real or what? What was going on? Your son suing for assault in a boxing match? I didn't. I like the lawsuit. I would never have ran with assault.
Right.
Breaching contract. I would have told my lawyers, think of something else, you fucktards. We're not going with
Yeah.
assault though. Those guys better be way smarter than me. I know they are, so they got to have something up their sleeve. But outside looking in, it just looks like a bad look.
Mm.
He gets in the fight at the.
Yeah, the
Oh,
carnival or
that was
something.
that Shakur? Oh no, it was.
No,
It
no,
was.
no,
Haney.
yeah, that was Haney. Yeah,
All right. So
yeah.
he fucking lights up some nobody, can't even drop him. Power in question again, right? Takes
Shit.
these stupid pictures with dumb clothes. I don't know who his PR person is. Like, wait, we're at a gas station. Get out of the car. I need a photo. Why is that important? What are you doing, bro? You're at a gas station. No one gives a flying fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just so weird. Get in the ring. Give us some sparring. Give us some freaking jump rope videos. Give us a guy you want to fight. I don't give a fuck about you at a gas station. I don't care what you wore on Saturday night. So weird. Devin Haney got so weird on me. I don't know what's going on. Did the knockout? I don't know. Maybe the knockout did change him. You know, that's what everyone keeps saying, man. The guy's never going to be the same. So yeah, we'll see. I like his dad's post. You know, his dad posted about the haters. The haters are going to hate. I raised the two-time champ. I agree to that, but let's get your kid back in the ring. Let's get your son back in the ring. Let's move his career forward. I got to tell you guys, Ryan Garcia was a fucking quitter before the Haney fight. Now all of a sudden Ryan's on back. He's not on top of the world, but at least he's got his fan base back.
He's like above Haney at this
Yeah.
point. For all the shit that Haney has done, like he's ironically in a very strange way, he's the one that looks more legit.
Yeah. So you guys just keep fighting. Get back out there and mix it up again. Really, why the Teofimo Lopez fight didn't come off before the Garcia fight is gonna be one for the years to talk about down the line. Why didn't you guys do that? That was $1 million fight there, easy, and you don't even know what you would have made on the pay-per-view. You didn't even try. How do you know Devin Haney wouldn't have some interest and comes back with bigger numbers than anyone else just because?
Interesting turn of events there. All right, so a couple of other information. The first and foremost, I want to say one of the first major fights, I guess, taking place in 2025 is, I believe, February something or other. I don't have my calendar up here, but it will be David Benavidez taking on David Morrell, both David. So we'll just say Benavidez and Morrell.
February 1st.
Okay, February 1st.
Benavidez Morrell.
Yeah, there's some fights before then, but that's the first major one. It's gonna be pay-per-view, Amazon Prime, yada yada, right? A couple of things. Number one, apparently there was some questions being raised from Benavidez' side to Morrell saying, yeah, that's why we needed to get your ass on fucking VADA testing. So apparently they're already questioning Morrell's cleanliness. I don't know what you would say, whether or not he is clean or not. I that seemed strange because I wouldn't see Morrell and be like, oh yeah, that guy's on the juice or that guy's on XYZ. That didn't come to me immediately, and when I first saw him and his performances, it didn't look like the guy looked superhuman by any stretch. But apparently, did Benavidez and Team Benavidez know? Did they know something that we didn't? Was there something that they got whiff of and they're like, no, we're having this fight, but only if your ass is taking VADA testing. We don't know the truth at this point. We don't know the reason or the motive behind Benavidez saying this per se. But could this be legit or is it just a smear campaign?
No, it sounded legit because the way Benavidez was saying it, he was basically saying that's why the fight hadn't taken place is because they weren't agreeing to a VADA test, right? Mm-hmm. It could be a dietary supplement. It doesn't really have to be a steroid thing. Maybe
Morrell would be like a banned substance.
Oh yeah, dietary supplement. The same stuff for cutting weight. You know what I mean? Like you see how big these guys are. They're coming down in these. What did David say? He was a heavyweight at one point. They're dropping a lot of pounds. Maybe Morrell needs a little bit of help during those last few months to get down in weight, and they all know it. You know what I mean?
Well, both these guys were at super middleweight, and they're both big. So maybe at that time, he was, like maybe taking diuretics or something so he can
Yeah.
drop more weight. And now that he's moving up to light heavyweight, he doesn't need those fucking shit. So maybe that's why he agreed. That seems plausible, huh?
Well, we're gonna see at the scale if he looks a little
Yeah.
flabby or if he doesn't make weight. You're like, all everything will be under a microscope now because of what he said. You know what I mean? What he looks like on fight night. But I don't think it was just a smear campaign. It looked like there was some truth behind Benavidez's tone and the way that he had said it. Like they knew something about Morrell's team, maybe.
Do you think? I mean, and I'm only asking this because we've seen it before, even with Floyd and Manny. Actually, I mean, he had never tested dirty before. I'm talking about Manny, unless I'm wrong, but I don't remember him testing positive, or at least not. I don't know how involved that or USADA was at the time. I know it was the athletic commissions by themselves, but that's one of the reasons I remember Floyd saying like, no, 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 we have to have XYZ sort of type of testing. Is that I mean, the fight is taking place, so regardless, Morrell is fighting Benavidez, but it just seems like kind of a low blow if it's not if it's not true, because up to this point, as far as I can remember, Morrell never tested positive for anything, so
No,
it seems kind of like I don't know.
he's
It
always
seems it
been
seems
the
in bad taste to do this.
he's
If
always
this is
been
not
the
true.
A side though, Miguel. He's always been the A side of these fights. David Morrell's a nobody. So could you imagine what his opponent was the night of the fight? A
Mhm.
bigger nobody, a guy that was happy he was in the position that he was in. And then sometimes, and I mean, let's talk. We can bring up guys like Felix Trinidad Sr., who was hand wrapping fighters' hands wrong his entire career basically, and only got popped when his son became a superstar. That's when they finally realized. Someone said, "Hey, he ain't supposed to rap like that," and then they caught him like 3 other times doing it. I don't know if you knew that, but he started having a pattern of
Mhm.
not forgetting how to wrap people's hands and putting too many layers of tape on it. So, um, Margarito Antonio
Mhm.
doesn't get popped until he's on pay per view with Sugar Shane Mosley. I don't know why my throat is doing this. Let me get some water.
Yeah, I got some water.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
so that definitely is interesting. I kind of it seems as though like it was in bad taste. I think like I think he wants to bring to light some information, obviously from Morrell, but considering Morrell had never tested positive, I seem like when I saw that I was like, damn, that's kind of low, dude. Like you can do your talking in the ring, you can go in and whoop his ass in the ring, but this kind of shit is like, hold on, where do you get off saying this? The fact that he hasn't been, testing, hasn't popped, hasn't pissed hot before, at least not that I recall. And mind you, this is coming from Benavidez, who twice lost his belt, once on the scale and once from fucking testing positive for a banned substance, recreational drugs. So he's the one that's coming in here talking mad shit when he's the one that actually has tested positive before. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of
Yeah. Very true.
the tea calling the pot or the kettle black or whatever, right? But I mean that was some time ago. We've kind of already forgotten about that. But to continue with your point, you're thinking it was kind of low key and under the rug until now. Now that Morrell is headlining a fucking pay per view.
Yeah. Basically, if they knew something was fishy with the kids' team before, why not bring it out right now? Let's nip it in the butt, right? That's all they're doing there.
Fair enough. So on that subject of one David Benavidez, this is what I read recently. Of course, PBC in talks with Turkey Al Sheikh to stage Benavidez versus Beterbiev Bivol to winner in the fall of 2025. Seems a little premature. They're kind of maybe slightly overlooking Morrell. I'm convinced, and me and my dad are convinced that Morrell's going to put up a much better fight than I think people anticipate. He is going to be, of course, the underdog, but again, like I said before, he's going to be the live underdog, live ammo underdog. But the heavy favorite is going to be Benavidez, and it seems as though Benavidez, his team or PBC, one Al Heyman, is in talks with Turkey Al Sheikh to potentially get Benavidez the winner of Beterbiev and Bivol, which is going to take place in February, I believe it is, right? February 22nd, that card, that mega card that we're going to talk about later on. But yeah, I guess I can ask this question. First off, what are Benavidez' chances against either one of those guys, both Beterbiev or Bivol?
I wouldn't have him the favorite, but he's not that far behind, especially if he has a good performance. Look, Benavidez is still growing as a fighter. He hasn't peaked yet, right? He's barely been getting into these big fights. He's been showing up for them, doing good. So I can't cap him yet or put a ceiling on him yet. Um, Morrell, if he looks good, he will be a live underdog against anyone they put him in with at 175. He's a big kid. He's got fast hands, throws a lot of punches, good chin. So I would be all in on Benavidez against either of those guys. What I don't like about the article
Mhm.
is that they're saying the PBC is in talks. Can we stop this with the PBC? I know a lot of you guys thought the PBC was going to take over, and they're the ones
That
that
was my
run
next question.
boxing.
I was exactly what I wanted to ask you.
Yeah, they run boxing and everything. No, stop it. He's talking to his manager Al Heyman. That's all that's happening here. His Excellency isn't doing anything else with the PBC. There's nothing there. The PBC is done. It's over with. Um, it's Al Heyman as a manager is reaching out to him about putting his fighter in with Turkey Ali Sheik's guys in Turkey Ali Sheik's fighting program, the Riyadh season. That's all him. Al Heyman has nothing to do with that. He didn't reach out to him and go, "Hey, I really need your stable." Matter of fact, it looks like there was an offer made and it wasn't brought in or purchased or would have accepted.
Mhm.
Um, Maybe Al Heyman thought he was going to get a few more dollars out of him, and Turkey said, "Well, fine. I've given you an honest fucking offer. You don't want to give it to me? Move on." But yeah, the PBC is no more. Everyone in the industry has said it. The PBC is no more. Let's stop with the whole PBC talk thing. De La Hoya said they got blown up. Rick Grazier says it's getting blown up. Like there's nothing. There's nothing there anymore. Um, they have no platform. Amazon has. You see the schedule we're talking about. The Ring magazine released.
Mhm, mhm.
We're still waiting for Amazon's. Still waiting for it.
Yeah,
What do they got? What do they have on board? One fight maybe, and then the Tank fight doesn't even come off. Tank is canceled
right.
again.
Well, that's. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, I guess we can talk about that. But from what I can tell, we don't know how true that is because I think he said it himself. But he could just be him like being pissed off about something and saying, "Oh, fuck this, the fight's done," and going to social media when in fact the reality is that the fight is not actually completely canceled. But I mean, I get your point though. It's like it
Yeah,
really throws a
he
lot.
wrote this bitch's off or something on his Instagram.
Mhm.
That would be pretty stupid of him. How are you going to sell tickets if you're announcing to your fans the fight's off?
Yeah. No, no, I hear you. Yeah, I thought maybe he was just kind of maybe throwing a tantrum or some shit. And it's like, oh, fuck this shit. The fight's off. Because I haven't heard anything about it since. Because as of right now,
I
there
think because
hasn't
their
been any.
organization. I think it's because they're dead in the water, Miguel. The fan base isn't there. The money, what promotional money isn't there. There's no bars calling up going, "Hey, I really need tickets. Where's the closed circuit to this? How much are you guys offering this for?" There was nothing there. Um, who was the opponent they wanted to put him in the ring with?
Tank
Yeah,
that they wanted to. Well, they're gonna. It's
yeah.
Lamont Roach Jr. It's
You keep thinking the fight's on. The fight's off, Miguel. The fight's off.
hmm. Okay. All right. And based off of the fact that
Yeah, he
Gervonta
wrote
said
that
it.
it's off.
Hmm.
We never seen Leonard Ellerby even at the fucking press conference. Come on now.
That's true. Okay.
His trainer wasn't even there. Calvin wasn't even there.
Right.
Like the thing was a total dud. Everything about it was a dud. Then he's announcing he's gonna retire. I don't know. Davis didn't want none of that real shit. He know you go over there to Riyadh, you're about to be thrown in with the wolves. He didn't want it. He wanted to control everything about his own fight. Once that doesn't happen, he's out. And just the whole PBC is done with. I'm over with the PBC's in talks. No, he's not. Al Heyman as a manager is in talks.
So
That's
so it's specifically Al and His
yes.
Excellency. Okay, I want to bring up this funny post from Rick Glazer. This was I think or was it 18th of December. Um, this was because every time I love reading his shit because he clowns PBC so hard on this shit. I mean, we do it all the time as well, but he does it also, right? So he says 10 years ago this month, talking about December, the creation of PBC was announced. What was supposed to be a whole new way of doing boxing, doing business in boxing, created by Al Heyman, turned out to be a colossal failure in the following fronts. PBC, or Al Heyman, looked to create a monopoly on the entire sport of boxing in the United States and failed badly. PBC today is in debt 900 million to an Australian company that bought Waddle slash Reed, the original lenders of
Yeah.
PBC per the
Yeah.
federal SEC filings. Number three, PBC in their initial 12-month period did 43 shows. Every year since they've done less shows. In 2024, PBC did just 5 events, and only one was not on pay-per-view. Four, what was once advertised as the company slogan as free boxing has now turned out to be almost exclusively pay-per-view. Five, PBC fighters on average fight on average once every 14.25 months. So 14 months on average is when they do it, 14 and a quarter. The other promotional entities, fighters fight multiple times a year. Six, Heyman created a whole generation of fighters that were spoiled, pampered, and because of inactivity, created a culture of fighters that constantly lost when fighting other promoters' fighters. Seven, now many fighters have defected the clutches of PBC, and many others of those that are still with PBC are yesteryear's news. They have just two real attractions: Canelo and Tank Davis. David Benavidez has not been proven as far as like a pay-per-view attraction goes. What started out as heavily financed, powerful juggernaut with a monopoly on the mind of Al Heyman, PBC is now a shell of what it once was, now limping home in ruin to oblivion. Thank you, Al Heyman. Wow.
And
All right.
Miguel,
Yes.
that's what I mean by they're dead. All right. Can we both agree Canelo Alvarez is not PBC? He might
Right.
call
Right.
them when he needs a fight, but he ain't
Sure.
hanging out with Del Heyman. He ain't hanging out at the PBC. There's nothing there. And
Mm.
Tank,
He's not
Tank,
ring-sided like the other PBC guys.
yeah, exact, yeah. I mean, if
Yeah.
that's really his only two attractions, one of them you're lying on. One
Hmm.
of them, the guy uses Al Heyman because he doesn't want to use anyone else. Yeah, I'm so over the PBC thing. So yeah, that's we need to stop. We need to stop even using the word PBC. Saying the word deep PBC to me is like motherfuckers talking about Don King Vision. Okay, Don King puts on pay-per-views too, but they don't mean shit. And that's what the PBC is now. He's the new Don King. He always has been. And is going to end up being worse. That 900 million is interesting. I would like to read a little bit more into that. I didn't know you could be in the hole when it was an investment. They invested that money into the company. That was their fault. So can you be in debt? You got to remember, the Waddle and Reed investors tried suing Al Heyman. What they tried to do, they tried taking him to court and going, look, we gave him, and I believe at the time was $750 million. They put in a investment portfolio, handed it over to Al Heyman and said, give us a Floyd Mayweather, right? That's what they wanted. They wanted a fighter that can turn out $250 million every time they got in the ring, basically. When they seen that was not going to happen, they tried to go to the courts and sue Al Heyman to put a freeze on the investment and go. He's already, like, for example, he's wasted 300 million of our 750 million. Can we take the 450 and reinvest that somewhere else in the company? And you know what the judge said? No. When you invest, you invest.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a
That's your
dangerous.
risk. That's
Hmm.
your risk. You guys blew it. That judge basically gave Al Heyman $750 million that he did not have to answer for. So it's kind of weird that they're saying now that he's in the whole 900 million. Did he borrow another 900 million on top of the 750? Because then then you guys are just idiots. Whoever, whoever
Right. Yeah.
Waddle, whoever is doing that, that's your fault. To me, this doesn't land on Al Heyman. Al Heyman was just being Al Heyman. He's a hustler. He was
Yeah.
hustling people, and that's not on him. So I would like to see what he meant by the 900 million in debt, because
Mhm.
from my understanding, it was an investment that went bad, and that's what happens when you invest. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Mm. Yeah. Well, that was definitely interesting. I would definitely I would be I would be interested in seeing if David Benavidez gets past Morrell, I would love for him to be up against. I would love for him to fight Beterbiev more than Bivol. I think Bivol is more of a sleep boxer, and I would love to see Benavidez go head to head with somebody. Like he's going to want to come forward, and I don't know if he's going to be able to move Beterbiev back, and Beterbiev is going to come forward. So I think that one. I will look forward to that one.
It's a great
So
fight.
hopefully, PBC is not in talks with with fucking his excellency, but rather Al Heyman, and we can make that happen because that I'd be interested in seeing that, especially since you know Saul isn't really a PBC guy, and on top of that, Tank Davis is kind of his fight is canceled. At least that's what he said in his was it his tweet? I think it was a Twitter tweet. So
Because
I guess maybe this is Al Heyman's last shot. It's like, all right, well, I got Benavidez. Let's just go ahead and cash out with this motherfucker.
Yeah. And one thing we need to know going into 2025 is if the Rehad season is going to be on other platforms. Like if he does do a fight with Al Heyman, will this be on Prime Amazon, or is Prime Amazon no longer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing. We definitely know ESPN is out of the game here shortly, right? We know DAZN's been purchased by His Excellency. At least 13% or something of the
Hmm.
company's
Right,
been
exactly.
purchased
Hmm.
by His Excellency. So they own a part of DAZN. Um, I don't see why they would need the Amazon thing anymore. With what they got going on their own. Yes, it's a bigger platform for America, um, but does His Excellency like giving up power? I don't think so. Does he really want someone else at the table telling him, or at least giving him ideas? I don't know. Doesn't seem like that type of guy, though.
Hmm.
Seems like it's his way or the highway.
All
He's the
right.
one.
Fair enough.
He's the one funding it, right?
Yeah. Hmm. It's very true. Well, that leads us to one of the other stories because you did kind of briefly bring up his name, and I kind of wanted to talk about it. We talked about Floyd Mayweather. We talked about at some point.
It's
We
happening
kind
to
of.
you.
I know. Yeah. Exactly. I was like trying to get the story up, and I'm like dying in the same piece. But a former Floyd Mayweather opponent, one Logan Paul.
Oh
It
yeah.
seems as though we're gonna get Logan Paul, who's 200 and some odd pounds, against Conor McGregor, who's 170 some odd pounds. Well, he's beefed up a little bit, so we'll say 180. Um, this is from what I've read. McGregor is going to be fighting Logan Paul. Uh, doesn't specify if it's some sort of exhibition fight or if it's actually like an actual legitimate scrap, but this is what it says. McGregor is set to earn 250 million in mega fight set for Mumbai's Wankhede Stadium as part of Visit India tourism campaign. So this is what it says. Conor McGregor and Logan Paul are to feature as part of um wait, oh yeah, verse. Okay, because the caption says verses, but then the actual information just says and. So I don't know. As a historic Visit India tourism campaign as the pair clash. Oh yeah, in Mumbai's iconic. I can't pronounce the stadium. Spelled Wankhede. So Wankhede Stadium. The two will be well rewarded for their efforts, with McGregor set to walk away with $250 million, making excuse me, making the fight one of the most financially rewarding in history. The event will be funded by the Ambani family dynasty, the richest in India. So this particular
Damn.
article is specifying that Connor is going to be making 250 million. I've read other ones that straight up said that they're each going to be making 250 million. I don't know who to believe at this point, but it seems as though at least Connor is going to be making 250. I don't know. Again, other posts say that they're each going to be making the same amount of money, but apparently this is going to be funded by one of India's richest families. Shit, what do you make of this?
I need to call whoever's putting this fight on and tell him that he's making a real bad decision here.
Well,
These two
if
are
both
not.
these guys get 250 mil, they're already 450 mil into the red
Yeah,
before anything.
500 mil.
They're
500
Yeah, yeah,
million in
that's
the
right.
red,
250.
bro.
You're right. Yeah. Mhm.
Hey,
Ah,
Miguel,
mm.
this is not the F1 racing of our sport. This, this is
Right.
this is not Floyd versus Canelo here. You're not even getting the Rich Paul. Who's making these fucking decisions, bro?
Mhm.
I see. I feel like once again we're gonna have a young prince that got his hands on his father's money and is making a real bad decision here with this first purchase. I know he probably has money to burn. I get it. But damn, you're really going to make these two that rich? For what?
He may have money to burn, but that don't mean he got to burn it.
Not on
I
these
mean,
two.
not on these two.
Not on these two.
Could we be having a Rihanna season copycat?
Oh, most definitely. Oh,
Is
most
that what he's
definitely.
trying to do? Like,
But
let's
he's
go ahead
going
and
to.
bring people to India the way they're doing to Saudi Arabia.
But he doesn't have the right fighters.
Well, not
Logan
yet.
Paul.
Not yet. Maybe
Logan
this is the
Paul.
start. Huh?
That's true, but under contract they're already with Rihad, so he's coming in pretty late because I don't see his excellency of letting guys out of their contracts, right? If their goal was to get Rihad to be a tourist attraction, you're not going to go, oh yeah, but you know what? We'll send some of our big fights to Dubai all of a sudden. Maybe they're friends. I really don't know the dynamics of these guys' relationships over there. But outside looking in, no, I think they're in it to make Riyadh a tourist attraction. So they're going to try to keep the big fights there. With that being said, I'm sorry, Conor McGregor and Logan Paul are not worth 250 million. They're not. That fight will not be watched in America. It's not going to do 2 million pay-per-view buys like Floyd and Logan did or Floyd and McGregor did, whichever one it was. It's
Floyd
just a
McGregor.
bad investment. If anything, it's going to make the Dubai go, yeah, we don't want to, or India. It's in India, right?
Yeah, India. Yeah.
They're going to say we don't want to do this again. That's what they're going to come away with because they're not going to make their money back unless WWE rules over there and Logan Paul is some kind of Hulk Hogan right now that I don't know about.
No.
All right.
He's got a following, but no, not even close.
He's not Hulk Hogan. He's not Ultimate Warrior. The Stone Cold.
No.
None of those.
No, not at all. He's got,
He said
WWE.
no.
No, fuck no. He's not even close. WWE has, championship belts, right? There's like the man who's the flag bearer. He's not that. He's far from it. He's got one of the secondary belts. As a matter of fact, he might not even have it anymore, I think, at this point. But when they put a belt on you as a professional wrestler, obviously it's a show, it's theater, it's all predetermined, but that's some sort of indication that the promotion or the organization feels that you have some sort of pull, like you can get people interested by putting the belt on you. You can put butts in seats, basically. He did it for a little bit. He's very athletic. He can put on great matches because he can do that, and he seems to be able to pick up on the stuff pretty quickly, but far from being the kind of guy who the whole promotion is like, all right, we're going to put the championship belt on this guy. He's going to be the one to take us to the next. Fuck no, at least not yet, at least. And it doesn't seem like he's going in that direction. It's honestly, it seems like it's just one of those Jake Paul type things. Like, I'm going to do this for a while because I can and make money. And then at some point I'll move on to something else.
If it was the money just seems too much. I only want to see Conor McGregor fight these guys in the cage. Seriously. I have no interest in Conor in the ring anymore, especially because it's been years since him and Floyd fought. Like, if he was going to do the whole boxing thing, he should have done that right after Floyd Mayweather, like we talked about on this show. He didn't. He's continued to get older. He's continued to lose more. He's been found guilty of sexual assault in a rape case, right? I mean, like, McGregor's on the bottom right now.
He was out because of an injury. He straight up broke his fucking leg in a match. That's
yeah.
shit's on top of
Yes.
everything else, he was out for a long time, and who knows how secure he is in that, because even when it healed, you come back, there's still a little bit of doubt in your mind that
Right.
that leg is not going to be the same anymore, especially in an MMA match where he's going to be kicking and everything. I know this is going to be boxing, but still, it's like this is his first, if I remember correctly, maybe I could be wrong, but I'm almost certain this is his first comeback. And again, I'm hoping it's not some sort of fucking exhibition and it's an actual legitimate fight. For the kind of money that India is going to put into this, it better be a legitimate scrap.
So it's a bad investment. It really is. I don't
Mhm.
see them making their money back on this one. I don't see the
But
interest of
you
the
don't think it'll
public.
be like for exactly that? Because you mentioned it earlier, like it won't do well in the U.S. Wouldn't it?
No.
Everybody knows Connor. Everybody knows Logan.
They know him as being Jake's brother. Like I don't know how big he is in the wrestling side. Like if
Well,
all the
here's the thing.
WWE
He's a
fans,
YouTuber. He was a YouTuber before
I
anything.
I
So
hear you,
he
but
has
his
hella
brother,
followers. So people know him. He later got into the boxing and then did the wrestling. So it's not like the boxing and the wrestling is how people know Logan. That fucker was a YouTuber for God knows how long. So I'm sure they know him, maybe not as the wrestler, but they have to know him. He's one of the biggest YouTubers around, or was at least.
he was. Now he seems like he's the is he the little brother of Jake?
No, I think he's the older one. I think he's the
Well,
older
he
one.
seems like the little brother. Sorry. When they're on TV, he looks like he's the guy in the background, and Jake
Mhm.
looks like the money man. Jake has the jewelry. Jake has the girls. Jake has boxing right now, doing major ratings, fighting Mike Tyson. Your other guy is in the background going, "Yeah, my brother's gonna win." That's all I see him doing.
Mhm.
I don't see him fighting. I don't see him wrestling because I'm not a wrestling fan. Now, if
Mhm.
I seen him on the wrestling side coming out and there's thousands of people cheering, Logan, Logan, then I go, hey, the guy's got his own fan base, but I don't see it. So it's a bad investment. I don't even think they make their money back. I mean, look, that's the only thing they can do is maybe set up the Connor Jake thing, but I don't think this fight needed that. Why wouldn't you just go? Because everyone's already wanted to see Jake Paul lose. We're done with the Jake Paul fucking gimmick, right?
Mhm.
Why aren't they just cashing out with McGregor versus him? I get Logan's reason. Logan's gonna make serious money. Um, but why wouldn't Connor just go, I don't want to fight your brother. I want to fucking fight you. You know what I'm saying? Because what if he loses? I guess he made 100, 250 million. I don't even believe that. I don't believe they're making that. I think that's
No.
all lies on the internet to
Mhm.
get this thing to go viral. Because Miguel, there's not money there to be made. India has rich people. I understand that, and there's a lot of people in the country that could maybe generate a big live gate. But does it generate $500 million?
No, that seems far too steep of a price to
Same.
like. I don't know. It just seems like I understand why you would say like just go straight to Jake Paul. We know he's the proven moneymaker. Um, yeah, I don't know. That's
That
maybe is
that two
Logan.
that two fight deal, dude. McGregor fighting Terrence Crawford or Jake Paul is it seems like it makes money. I don't know if it makes 250 million, right? But it makes money. This fight, I'm barely gonna watch. I'm barely gonna. This thing better be like sitting in my lap. I'm not searching for it. I'm not. I might not even remember unless you tell me, bro. I really give two shits about Logan Paul. He's not the guy that I want to see. Matter of fact, he's already been beat. He's not the guy I want to see beat. I want to see Jake get it. Jake's the one who talks shit. Jake's the one who fought Tyson. You know what I mean? Jake's the one. Oh, I'm gonna fight Canelo. I want to fight for a belt. Well, fucking prove it, man. His brother ain't done nothing but been a actor.
Yeah, that's true.
WWE, they're athletic. Don't get it twisted. They're athletic, but he's not a fighter.
Right.
Jake Paul's the fighter. So let's get Jake Paul versus McGregor. And if I have to watch Logan fight Jake to get the whole little storyline going of he beat up his brother, so now the brother needs to come avenge it, great. But at 250 million is how you need to start that story? Bad investment.
Yeah, and it really is because, like, let's say for the sake of argument, well, let's go down that route and say, okay, this is going to be the first fight, and then maybe afterwards, if Connor wins, we have Connor and Jake. What kind of price tag are there going to be on Connor and Jake if this is a price tag on Connor and Logan?
That's right. That's right.
shit, they're not going to be like, no, you pay them 250, you pay me 270 or whatever the shit is, right?
Right.
Even bigger of a price tag. They're already off to a bad start, India.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm not gonna.
It's just a bad. It's a bad investment. I don't. And one, I think that they're doing it just to go viral. They knew. I think they knew the announcement of the fight wouldn't
Mm,
maybe be up for a day, but if you attached a $500 million price tag to it, then you have everyone reporting it. I just don't see where they're going to make this money back.
no, and
Especially
I
with
don't.
McGregor kind of being cold right now. McGregor,
Yeah.
I heard he even lost the liquor. Did you hear about
Oh
that?
yeah, yeah. That.
So it did happen.
Yeah, I did hear about that. Yeah, a couple
Wow.
of ones, but I know him that in particular. I want to say I did remember hearing that.
Wow.
Um, but yeah, it's not just. I mean, it's not just him that's kind of cold, but also kind of Logan. Logan has been in the limelight because of professional wrestling, but not because of fighting. And it's like, wow, now he's gonna come back to do this. I mean, it's even kind of weird. I mean, here's the thing: the UFC isn't just gonna let Connor do this shit on his own. Like they're gonna get their piece of the pie too. You know, it's not like he's completely cleared of his responsibilities with the UFC. He's not. He hasn't completely cut ties with them. So I'm sure
Wow.
Dana's gonna have some hands in those pockets because I don't think. I mean, it could be that be one of the reasons why the price tag is so much for Connor. Maybe they were able to get India to want to fork up that kind of money, but you best believe that the UFC is going to be on the back end.
Once
This man's money.
once again though, I've got to wonder how the UFC blocked something in India.
Oh, I see what you mean.
What
Yeah.
what jurisdiction? That's where these things really come in to play on what power do you really have if a guy goes to Riyadh and His Excellency goes, I don't give a fuck what they say. Come here, you're going to get paid, you're going to make money. Yes, you probably burn your bridge. Well, you're never going to come back to America and fight for the UFC,
Yeah.
but if you
Or if he
were,
comes back, there's going to be a price tag for that. Like it's like, all right, yeah, you might go over there and make money, but once your ass gets back here, you
do
best
you
believe
get
that
sued?
it's going to get divvied or something. Yeah,
Do you get sued? Maybe, maybe that's what it is. They'll just sue them when they come back, and then the courts will say, "Yeah, because you made money in a combat." Maybe that's what it is. You can still get sued by the company when
yeah,
you get back to America. That probably has to be because I wouldn't see how they would block anything else. It's not like they answer to us, right? We know
right.
damn well they don't answer to us, so they would probably just shrug their shoulders and go, "It's on him.
Yeah,
You get him when he's off the plane. I'll tell you when he lands."
yeah. It's like just keep it on the schedule. The plane is a little delayed, so just give it a couple of 10 minutes.
Yeah,
He'll
it's
land. He'll
fucked up.
he'll land shortly. He'll be there, and Dana's gonna be like, yeah, okay, cool, gotcha.
Yeah. Yep.
But to answer your question, yes, Connor. I'm reading this right now. Connor has lost his association with the Irish whiskey brand Proper Number 12 after being found liable for sexual assault case, meaning he will no longer be the face of the brand, and the company will not use his name or likeliness moving forward. So, and
And
he
he got
sold.
pulled from the video game. They
Yeah, he
pulled him
says
off
it
the
also says
game.
he sold his majority of the stock in the company, as well. So,
Wow.
yeah. All right. So yeah. So, yeah. Bad first start, India, because I don't know where the fuck y'all decided to go this direction. But on the topic of the Middle East, one of the topics that we wanted to finish the show off of is the research that we have done regarding the nightlife or potential nightlife partying that can occur potentially in Saudi Arabia Riyadh season after fights. Now we talked about it last week momentarily. We thought about it and we said, "Damn, we don't really know too much. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of research because um, we talked about how a lot of the millionaires and even billionaires who may attend boxing fights, big time boxing fights in Saudi Arabia for Riyadh season, after the fights are done, they sure as hell are not going to go back to their hotel rooms and go to bed like little angels. I'm sure they're going to go out and want to party. They're going to go out and do shit. And if it involves banned substances and other such things, then it's going to happen because we know that shit happens in Hollywood. We know that shit happens in Vegas, especially after fights, right? So we thought about maybe that could be one of the reasons why His Excellency is trying to include rappers such as Busta Rhymes or Eminem and the shows because hell, they got to have some sort of entertainment besides that, right? But is he going about it the right way? Because realistically, for us hardcore fans, when we tune in to watch boxing fights, we can give two shits about the rappers. Hell, we don't even like it when rappers accompany fighters to the damn ring, for fuck's sake. So
Right.
we don't need to be seeing them on stage doing their thing, especially, the rappers of yesteryear like Buster Rhymes or Missy Elliott or fucking Eminem. So we thought, well, let's go ahead and do some digging on, you know, uh, Saudi Arabia and their nightlife, if there any. Um, do you still happen to have that article up, Andrew? That one that you were reading up to me earlier in regards to the money, the amount of money. That's one of the reasons why we talked about it earlier in the show. Is one of these nightclubs, the first nightclubs, and
The only nightclub.
oh, the only nightclub,
The
yeah,
only nightclub
in
in
Saudi Arabia,
Riyadh season.
season, Riyadh, apparently is expensive as a motherfucker. We calculated it to be about $745 fucking dollars to go in. All right. Now we talked about what stuff they can or cannot do. So I was like, you know what? Let me Google this shit. Let me find out. This is what I asked Google or AI: is alcohol legal in Saudi Arabia? This is what it says. It says no, alcohol is not legal in Saudi Arabia, but the country is taking steps to relax its alcohol laws. Okay. Again, that's what we talked about earlier. We're saying they're barely in their infancy, and it isn't like they're Las Vegas quite yet. It's going to be a while before they even get there. But I proceed. I digress. Let me continue with the rest of it. Alcohol consumption: it is illegal for anyone to consume alcohol in Saudi Arabia, including Muslims. Punishments for drinking alcohol includes fines, jail time, public flogging, and deportation. I didn't
Wow.
know what the fuck flogging meant until I had to Google that shit. That basically means you get your ass whipped. You literally get fucking lashed like that kid in Singapore. That shit. Publicly, homie, publicly. All right, and deportation. Any one of those things. I guess maybe maybe the nicest one is just fines, but jail time, public flogging, deportation. Holy shit.
And you better know someone high up there to just get the fine. You got
Yeah,
to be someone in power.
right, right. The next bullet point is alcohol possession. It is illegal for anyone to possess alcohol in Saudi Arabia, including Muslims. All right. The next one, alcohol sale. It is illegal to sell alcohol in Saudi Arabia. All right. Alcohol manufacture. It is illegal to manufacture alcohol in Saudi
Got a
Arabia.
pattern going here.
Yeah. Alcohol import. It is illegal to import alcohol into Saudi Arabia. And lastly, the diplomatic area, that's what it says. Non-Muslim diplomats are permitted to buy and drink alcohol in the diplomatic area of Riyadh. Now, I don't know what the hell the diplomatic area of Riyadh is, but it seems to be a loophole because that's the only area that says non-Muslim diplomats, non-Muslim, so they have to be that, are permitted to buy and drink alcohol in these diplomatic areas. So
So
there's a little bit of a loophole for non-Muslims.
I believe that's people with working visas, right? They have what I was reading. They have what was like 500,000, I think, working visas of people coming from other countries and working there. And so they have to give them sort of they're trying to give them let them have their what they do at their own
Okay.
where they come from. Give them some kind of normalcy,
Hmm.
and that's religion. Like they can do religion within their own quarters, within their own
Oh, I see.
bedrooms.
Hmm.
They can't do it in public. Things like this, right? So maybe that's where that falls under. They have a in a hotel where they're all staying. Maybe they allow them to drink wine or
Hmm.
something like that. I'm
And
sure
even
it's
then, it's in limited quantities. And let me specify
that's
this.
yes,
This is
yes.
one of the reasons why Saudi Arabia has banned alcohol since 1952, when King Abdulaziz imposed the ban after his son drunkenly killed a British vice consul. However, the country is taking steps to relax its alcohol laws as part of its Vision 2030 plan. That's what it's called, the Vision 2030 plan, to liberalize Saudi society. These steps include opening the country's first liquor store in over 70 years and allowing diplomats to bring in limited quantities of alcohol. So this is one of the reasons why, because unfortunately, the one of the king's sons killed a British vice consul, and they said, "Fuck it, no more alcohol from here on out." But again, they have this quote unquote Vision 2030 plan where they're trying to make Saudi a little bit more liberal and bringing in limited quantities of alcohol. And the first time in over 70 years, opening the first liquor store. So that, including what Andrew was looking up here, were you able to find that article that you read for me earlier?
Yeah. Yes, that
All
it
right.
costed 2,800 Saudi real, whatever their money
Yeah,
currency is.
Rial. It's like RY. Sorry, RI. Well, Jesus, RIYAL.
That's
Rial.
it.
Rial.
Yes. And it's 2,800 to get in the front door. When you change that over into American currency, that's $745 to get into a club that has no alcohol. Um, yeah,
Read about the
listen,
one about the
people.
women. Like the women
Yeah,
now, they're
listen.
starting to.
They are barely allowing men and women to walk into the door together at restaurants. Before, they had to have their own entrances. Women entered one way, men entered the other. We heard about that. My friend told me about the subway. He was told he would be arrested if he got on the subway with his mother. Um, growing pains, growing pains, growing pains is what we've been telling you guys about Saudi Arabia. It doesn't look like it's going to become Las Vegas anytime soon. They're light years away from that, and I think that's going to be part of the problem of making this a full tourist attraction to the young crowd. Well, the young in Saudi Arabia might be like, dude, this is so cool. We have a club. That's not really going to hit it with our people here in America, right? And I think we've had clubs here for quite some time now. It's just so different. The culture shock is so different. One has to think, do you really want to invest your money into something like that? Now, if you're rich, that's another story. That's just, a drop in the bucket for you. You're out there partying, living life. But when you're really trying to plan, especially a young life, a young person traveling, do you really want to go to a place where you can be whipped for certain things, put in jail for certain beliefs?
Be
You
fined.
try talking to a girl, it's the wrong girl. She's related to somebody powerful. Now you're in fucking big time trouble, right?
Mhm.
Might even get the girl in trouble because she fucking gave you the time of day. There's just so much that unknown over there. I find it's going to be a real hard sell for the average Joe to be jumping on a plane going there. We've already heard stories of Americans, Floyd himself, doing multiple months for just arguing with people, right? Um, we're not built the same. We're absolutely not built the same, and I think that's why they almost have to keep it. I think this process is gonna have to be slow, even slower than 2030. I know he's trying to outlive the old guy. See, that's why he's kicking this can down the road, because he's gonna get a lot of backlash. I mean, you're talking about a holy place, right? You're
Mhm.
talking about a sacred place. These people take their religion really seriously, and now once you start letting in those kind of behaviors, right? Club scene. Well, what happens in the first time they catch someone in the parking lot? One of these
Mhm.
girls doing bad things in the parking lot, right? Or one of these OnlyFans trying to do an OnlyFan kind of scene in Saudi Arabia because they think they're going to get more hits. What happens when they get caught with this? What happens when some guy gets caught walking down the street on dope because he fucking got it into the country somehow because you let all these tourists in? And I'm sorry, drugs are coming with them, right? They're going to do
Mhm.
whatever they can to get this shit in. Hey, people, let me tell you, if it's $745 to get in, I wonder what an A ball's going right now on the street for, right? Hate to be
Right.
a dick, but I'm just wondering, right?
Yeah.
So you got
Because
to
because
think,
people are going to look for that. Because
you,
people.
especially the F1,
Right.
especially the F1 crowd. All
Yeah.
these
That
F1 guys, all
demographic.
those yachts got snowmen all over them. I'm telling you that right now. Those little snow bunnies are running around that. No, I'm just fucking with you. I'm just playing. I get all my information from the internet. You guys, leave me
Yeah.
alone. But yeah, they're definitely going to be looking. Someone's definitely going to be stupid enough to try it, right? To
Yes.
try
Yeah.
it. I'll
That's
get
one of
in
the
the
reasons why I
club.
brought up earlier, like Floyd's fan base going out there
Yes.
and some shit like that.
Yeah. And so what's going to happen, and I'm going to tell you right now, the prince is going to get frowned upon if these kind of things do start happening out there, and the older crowd starts seeing how their once sacred place is now becoming what they're going to deem Las Vegas, even though we know it's not. They're going to
Mhm.
be like, look at how bad we are now. You brought this all. he's either going to change back to what they used to be, or you're going to start having to eliminate some of these guys that are trying to go against your future, right? And I don't mean eliminate as kill. I don't know how you eliminate them, but he's gonna have enemies, basically. People that are totally against him and what he's doing to their land. It's slow process. I think they need to wait until 2030. They just seem so far extreme. I don't see even I don't see them budging at all. And once you give what do they say? You give a person an inch, they want to go a mile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You give them a hand, you take an arm.
There you go. Yeah. They
Mhm.
this kind of behavior is going to be frowned upon big time over there. As we see, you can't even enter the room with the girl or lady. I've also said there's things in their culture where you can't pray together. Like there's so much, they're so strict. Can you imagine when they start seeing just a little bit of this sin start coming onto their streets? Can you imagine when they see the girls start wearing makeup and the clothes get tighter because they see all those F1 guy brings all those snow bunnies, all them girls got tight clothes, and you get what I'm saying? Like there's gonna be a lot of backlash. I definitely don't want to be the example. I'm gonna stay away until they got it cleared up, right? I don't want to be the guy going, I didn't know. And now you know.
Yeah. Let's go outside real quick.
Yeah. 15 lashes for him. Fuck.
Yeah. Like
did you say fuck? Did you say fuck in the presence of his excellency?
Yeah.
Telling you, people. I'm telling you, I'm not saying it's scary, but I'd be real careful when you go out there and just why, like Miguel said, you probably do have to be an angel and just go right back to your room at this point. At this point, until they got things figured out, I would stay in my room.
And I suspect that if, like what you mentioned earlier, I think if once they get their first hiccup, they're gonna go back to it. Like, I mean, go back to the way it was before. Because I mean, shit, we don't even see ring card girls at some of these fucking events, right? I mean, that to that degree, and I know that's just like the surface area because it's even further. The example that you gave us with your buddy at the subway, that's how way it is. You know what I'm saying? So if they're not gonna have ring card chicks, the second that something like that happens at a nightclub or some a woman specifically ends up showing like too much skin or something like that,
a titty fall out.
Yeah, and with alcohol loose, like it's basically it's not Vegas because obviously they're still light years away from that, but it's on the way. It's basically the pathway to that.
To them, it would already be that.
Yeah, there you go. To them, it already be that. So they would be like, "Fuck, I told you we shouldn't be doing this shit." Slash, and then we'll go back to how things were before. I think that's because I mean according to what I've read, they're trying to loosen up some of the alcohol laws. But the second somebody is irresponsible with it, I mean, it's kind of like that. I don't know, that the 18-year-old who's like super strict. Their parents are super strict on them, and the second they turn 18, they go fucking buck wild and lose their shit. Like that's kind of the way the country has been. It's been very like strict, and then the second something like this starts to loosen up, it's like fuck. You best believe there's going to be some DUIs. You best believe there's going to be some issues like that in the parking lot of the club if they can even get to the damn club for $700 some odd dollars. I mean, again, I'm sure the rich will be over there, but if we have, I don't know, anybody, Virgil Ortiz fans over there, like, you think they're gonna fucking fork up $745? Hell no.
Have you ever seen what happens to your car if you get caught street racing in Saudi Arabia?
No. What happened?
Shredder. Goes into a shredder.
Shit. Wow.
Yeah. Sports car, $1 million car. I don't give a shit. If you're caught speeding, shredder. That's what it said. Now, I've never been there, but they literally showed them picking up some pretty nice cars and dropping them right into a shredder.
Damn. They don't fuck around, y'all.
Yeah. They don't mess around.
Yeah. Let's not be the heroes and go find out. Let's just sit back and let somebody else fuck up and be like, oh, that's what happened.
Do a lot of sightseeing. Be polite. You know what I mean? You can go out there. You can have a good time, but just don't think it's Las Vegas because it's not. You're going to find yourself in some serious trouble if you go out there and try to be you. You better go out there and be your grandpa and your grandma and just, take a picture, eat some food, just be respectful, and go home. That's your trip.
Right. And that's kind of the, I mean, it hasn't been the point in a long time. I get that, but when you go to another culture, when you go to Japan or stuff like that, that's kind of the point. You want to go and experience the culture. You want to
That's
do
right.
as they do. You want to eat as they do and live as they do, because it's like holy shit. And I know that even within the U.S., because of how big the U.S. is, you go from California to New York, and it is a different culture, even though it is still within the U.S. So we're to some degree culture, but it's still American. But you go somewhere else, like I don't know, fuck El Salvador or some shit, like it's completely different, right? So if you go somewhere like China or Japan or South Korea or something like that, um, it's completely different, and it's a big culture shock. So you when people who are smart enough want to go travel to things like that, it's an honor for us to like, oh shit, we're experiencing their culture. It would be stupid as fuck to try to think that you can just go there and like, where the fuck is the hockey, guys? What the fuck? Y'all
Yeah.
suck, you know? Like
Yeah.
obviously that's not going to be the case, and I suspect that we're going to get a lot of that, especially if they're loosening the alcohol laws. There's going to be some
They don't.
hiccups. There's going to be some slips.
Yeah.
There are going to be some people testing and pushing the fucking envelope.
I would recommend that His Excellency hang out in America for a little bit. You know, go incognito, put on a disguise, and just go see how the kids act when they're drunk.
Hmm.
What
It's
is
like
that girl doing? What is she doing?
be undercover boss like that TV show. Just
Exactly.
put on the fucking thing, right, and just observe. Just observe and be like, don't try to interfere. Just shut your fuck. I mean, I know it's hard for him to shut up because I mean, at this point, nobody tells him to shut up. So I'm sure he might have some problems just sitting back and observing and not interfering or at all or intervening at all. But it would be in your best interest, Excellency, Mr. Excellency, Turkey, to go, come to the U.S. and party, but just be like, no, nobody knows you. I mean, I don't, he won't, but I'm just saying, I don't think he can probably because of how big he is over there. But it would be in his best interest to do that, to make sure that, he gets a first, what's the word, first hand, experience to how it gets here, at least here in Vegas, when alcohol is running, when everything is loose, and the laws aren't
Two
exactly as
girls
strict over
kissing on
there.
the dance floor probably ain't gonna go well over there, bro.
Right.
Probably.
Or
And
two
if
dudes kissing on the dance for that
no,
matter.
no, don't
I,
say
I,
that. Gosh
I
darn it.
hey, that's how it's
I'm
gonna
just
be.
no, I'm just saying most of the time, even when girls aren't that all the way that way, they'll the alcohol gets involved and everyone's the dude. They don't want to see all that over there. They don't want to see it. I'm telling you, ain't ready for this. You ain't ready for this, man.
Yeah, you're
You
not
guys
ready.
think
You're not ready.
you
You're
guys
kind
think
of
you're
not.
ready, but you're not, bro. This thing is going 100 miles an hour right now.
You Americans are not ready for our culture. No. Uh, all right. Well,
But we told you guys we were gonna look into what the nightlife was. Our report is you're gonna be a tourist. We're gonna sightsee. You might want to go to the temples, see what
mhm,
they look like. My cousin did that. My cousin went to Europe. And he went to a church on Sunday. Him and his wife went to church. They're not Catholics, but they did. I thought that was really cool. I was like, damn, I never thought about doing that. Going over there and just seeing how what a church was like on a Sunday. Those are some of the oldest churches, right? And
mhm.
I'm sure Saudi Arabia has some pretty old stuff over there too that you can go check out. So as of right now, Riyadh season, we're gonna be tourists. We're not partying at
Mm,
all.
yeah, we're just going to spectate, be spectators for the fights. Nothing else at this point. At least not yet. Who knows if it'll happen in our lifetime? But regardless, it sure as hell is not going to be
Dad,
in Vegas anytime soon.
at 30, what will I be? 50? Won't be in my party lifetime. Be for my
It's all
sons.
right.
Yeah.
If you strike it rich, you can go party.
Be
Between now
F1, baby.
between now and then, there you go. Yeah, exactly. Raven and shit all of a sudden with the fucking with the light sticks and
Me and
everything.
Usyk. Me and Usyk.
Yeah, exactly. He was like doing the fucking dance in the ring that he does. Uh,
Hey,
uh, mm.
here's a question, Miguel. We're 1 week away from Usyk Fury. Is Usyk one? Is he an all-time great? Is he as great as we first started saying once he got out of the ring with Fury? And two, is he pound for pound? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, definitely one of the all-time greats for what he's accomplished. Still undefeated, what he's done, like amateur-wise, before he, became a pro. But he basically toppled, two of the three that were considered the three-headed monster that Max Kellerman said were the heavyweights. So he completely mopped the floor with everybody at cruiserweight. He did the same thing at heavyweight, and doing so by remaining undefeated and being naturally a smaller dude. So I would say he's up there, no doubt. I don't know if I can say the greatest of all time, the goat as they call them. I wouldn't go that far. Um, if he does, maybe what. And I've actually read Teddy Atlas suggest this. If he does what Andre Ward does and maybe just walks away now, I think that would be some serious discussion about him being one of the all-time greats. I mean, I think he's already there. I don't know where he lands as far as like top 5 or top 10, but definitely for what he's done. I mean, shit. Yeah, I would say so. Yes. What
Yeah,
was the second question? If he's pound for pound? Yeah, for
if
sure.
he's
I mean,
pound for pound.
well, you're not really fond of heavyweights being in pound for pound,
Right.
right? In general.
Right.
Truthfully, I don't like pound for pound in general. I really don't like that discussion because we never truly find out. I mean, granted, sometimes we never find out even if they're in the same weight class, but definitely less if they're not in the same weight class. So I'm not a fan of that. I would say yes because of the ability that he has. I mean, the whole point of pound for pound is if there were no weight classes, would these two dudes who would win between so and so guys? That would be like the best way I can describe, I guess, pound for pound. If I'm really understanding it correctly, he would be up there. He would be able to match up very well against some of the other guys. Forgetting the weight class, guys like Crawford, guys like Canelo. He would be able to do that for sure. On top of the fact that he's a southpaw, which is difficult as it is sometimes. Maybe Crawford will be good to give him a really really good fight because he can turn southpaw as well. But yeah, I would say
So
where
here,
he lands on that list, I don't know. But go ahead.
so sometimes I think that this younger generation, they're a little too fast on the whole he's the greatest of all time, the goat this, the goat that. And we've heard goat so many times in the last 10 years, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I don't like that Daniel Dubois is on his list of things that make him the GOAT. Where the fuck did Daniel Dubois come from, Miguel? Like, I get Tyson Fury.
Mm-hmm.
I barely get AJ. Because when people want to bring up the pound for pound, AJ is not pound for pound. AJ was a big athlete. But AJ lost to a guy who was a 15-1 underdog. And he got spanked when he got beat by him. And when you look at AJ's skills, I think if you match him up against Inoue, Saul Alvarez, Terrence Crawford, AJ is not any of them. So I don't know how much props or respect we're supposed to give off it's a good name on the resume, but the time that he beats him, Anthony Joshua is not coming off of the Vladimir Klitschko win. Now, if he would have beat him immediately after the Klitschko win, then it's a different story.
Even after coming back to school, Ruiz,
the second fight is boring as shit.
Well, I know, but he got it back though. It's Lennox Lewis and Oliver.
No, it's not. Lennox Lewis knocked out his opponents. Lennox Lewis came back to knock out Rockman, and one of the greatest knockouts the heavyweight fighter's ever seen. One punch put his motherfucking mouthpiece through his lip. That was ugly. Remember that? His whole lip was sliced.
Yeah. Dude, I hear the sound. Boom, boom. Oh, I cannot. That will never leave my brain.
And then the Oliver McCall was not that great, but he still knocked him out.
Yeah, yeah.
AJ comes and outboxes a fat man.
Right.
A real big fat man.
Knocked him out.
Yes.
Knocked him out and he couldn't do the same in return, I guess.
So I look at AJ and I'm giving him credit, but it's not like he just stopped Muhammad Ali and Anthony Joshua, right? Or beat Ali. Dubois, I have no idea why he's on this list. You guys need to stop that. Dubois is not that dude. Did Dubois do something that I'm missing? Like, he wasn't a champion, right?
Right.
Was he undefeated? Was he undefeated when Usyk beats him?
No, he had already lost to Joe Joyce. It was him and Joe Joyce were coming up, and they were both undefeated.
And is that where he quits on the eye? Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, you guys need to tone it down just a little. You got to tone it down. Now it's a great start. It's a great start. But the GOAT and putting him up with Ali today. I mean, this week I was like, Ali, come on. Come on, they got, I like his unified at cruiserweight. Even though in America we never really gave two shits about cruiserweights,
Mhm.
it's still a great thing on his resume. Evander used it, other fighters have used it, so we'll give it to him. But I do think we need to pull back just a little on how great Usyk is right now, because two of your opponents, I don't really agree with them being all-time legends when he beat them.
Mhm.
Dubois in the future is going to get better. Maybe he beats Usyk in the rematch. Maybe he just has a better career. But the time that Usyk beat him, I don't give him that much credit for. He's a nobody at this time. I don't even know why he's on the list. I can't figure out why people are putting Daniel Dubois as one of the top three opponents of Usyk's career. And then Anthony Joshua, I'm looking at the Joshua and uh, and I'm like, he lost to Andy Ruiz in 15-1 underdog, right?
Mhm.
People took away Tyson's all-time great when he started losing, right? And Anthony Joshua never even got to Tyson's era or ranking. And then you have Tyson Fury. That's a great fight for him. So I think Tyson's a start. I think he has a great start going here. But yeah, I'm gonna hold off a little bit. How great Usyk is, and it sucks because he's 37 already. I know, or
Yeah.
35. I know a lot of his career is already by him. But yeah, that's kind of how I was kind of like, damn, we're giving this dude a lot of credit here. There was a lot of people this week, and then the pound for pound. Obviously, my feelings on that is the heavyweight is already the greatest. What I tell my son is the heavyweight's already the best athlete in the world. And I'm sorry, you guys. This is not me. This is science. This is the Olympic Committee. This is scientists. They have said time and time again that the boxer is the best athlete in the world. Period. When you look at the heavyweight boxer, that makes him the best athlete in the world overall because they're the biggest. They have the best reflexes, the best power, the best of everything.
Mhm.
The pound for pound ranking was made because of the heavyweight Joe Louis. They made the pound for pound ranking because there was a welterweight by the name of Sugar Ray Robinson. I know you guys all know him. That was really good at the welterweight division. But everyone's like, well, Joe Louis is the best athlete in the world. They were like, well, we got to make a title for him too because he's pretty good too. And that's where pound for pound got made. So why are we now putting heavyweights on a list that was never made for them? Because the heavyweight champ is already the baddest dude on the planet. You can't get better than that motherfucker. That's him. He's the guy. So I don't like him on the list, even though I get it. He does have skill. There's a lot of skill there. I just think he's the best athlete. To me, being the best athlete in the world is better than being pound for pound. Pound for pound is for the lower divisions. It's for the
Mhm.
guys that you were trying to give recognition to. I know he's bad, but this guy's bad too. So that was my feelings on that. Um, yeah, I forgot where else I was gonna go. I had one more thing with the Anthony Joshua one, but I forgot it. But he has some. He has now. How about this? Do you want to see Usyk? Are you hoping Rihad, His Excellency, puts him in with Wilder? Because I'm getting a lot of he needs to face Wilder.
No. Absolutely not. There's no need for it. Wilder is not in a position. Number one, Wilder is not in a position to get a crack at any fucking legitimate title right now. He's gonna have to get a victory under his belt first and foremost. Mind you, he's on the downside of his career. I know 5 years ago it was difficult to even imagine everybody whooping fucking Wilder's ass. That's kind of what's pretty much what's happening at this point. And he's still fighting top dudes, like Zhang, and it was kind of like it's besides his age, you can tell he's already on the downside of his career. Not even so much that those fights with Fury fucking ruined him. It ruined him. So he's done. He's basically done. He's totally shot. I don't think he deserves a crack. Definitely not at the number one heavyweight in the fucking world. Definitely not any other championship, let alone him. So no, I definitely don't. I don't feel there's a need. I don't think there's a need for Fury. I'm sorry, not Fury. Usyk to get in there with Wilder. I don't think Wilder deserves the fight. I know it might still get some attention because of who Wilder is, and at the end of the day, Wilder still has that pop, but he's gotten hit a lot. He's kind of gun shy now, so I don't think he's going to be able to have that confidence in him to throw the punches and throw that right hand the way we've seen him in the past. No, it's unnecessary. It's really I don't think anybody. I know you're saying
Can
that
you
you're hearing people wanting to watch that fight, but I don't think anybody wants.
Can you be considered the best of the era without fighting an American?
Yes, especially the heavyweights because of how shitty the American heavyweights were. It was the only person that is left that was of name recognition, or the guy who represented US and had the US on his shoulders in the heavyweight division was Wilder, and he's pretty much wiped out already. He's gone. So beating him wouldn't really do anything for Usyk. And I think I would say yes only in this division because of how weak our heavyweight division was. So for the heavyweights, yes. Probably other weight classes, no, because we do have other prominent Americans in other weight classes. But the heavyweights, no.
I think it's unfair that the Klitschko's got knocked so much for not having a great American heavyweight, but Usyk's being considered Ali. I
Mm.
find that unfair. I think Klitschko, both Klitschko's, Vitaly being the better one in his prime. Because Vlad is the one that had the sugar issues. Remember, Lamont Brewster knocked
Mhm.
out Vlad, right?
Mhm. Wait,
And
was it Brewster? Oh, was it? Because
Lamont Brewster,
what was the
dude.
other dude's name? Corey Sanders? Corey Sanders fucked up.
But he's not American.
Oh, sorry, sorry.
Lamont
Okay, I got
Brewster
you,
was
got you. My
American.
bad. Yeah, I got what you mean. I got what you mean.
So what I mean by that is we've seen great Ukrainian fighters, great European fighters come here and then can't beat our Lamont Brewsters.
Mhm.
Can he beat Baby Anderson? Is Baby Anderson, Big Baby, considered a Lamont Brewster type? Say, like I think he has to fight one American before I crown him the best of them all. Big Baby, the one we got, Big Baby, the real baby. We got Deontay Wilder. What about the young man, the man that just knocked out um, Anderson? The
Oh,
ones
but
the
Bacoli?
Coley, is he
Yeah.
American?
No,
He's
he's
not
like
American.
no, he's from Africa, the continent of Africa. I want to say he's Nigerian or something like that,
Okay.
and I think he's kind of like made his home in like Scotland or something. But no, he's not American. No.
I hope Usyk gets to prove it at least once on American soil that he was a badass. Americans are the best fighters in the world. Even though Deontay has a glass chin now, he was one of the best American heavyweights of this era. Hopefully, they haven't totally given up on that fight because I think it would be an interesting fight because of the power situation. Because we've seen Usyk go down before, body shots. We've seen him hurt. It would be an interesting fight for me, and I think he has to prove that. You can't get the all-time great and not fight an American boxer when we know that the Americans are the cream of the crop. We're the best there is. And I
But
know
at
at this
heavyweight though,
Lamont Brewster was not the best and he beat Vitaly, who's one of the greatest Ukrainian champions of all time, right?
did they have a
So,
rematch or no?
no,
I
I
don't
don't
remember
think they
the.
did.
Oh, all right.
Matter of fact, I think he goes back to Germany or he just fights over there a lot more. And everyone started saying it was the
Who
steroids.
does he
They weren't they
have the fucking? I think I'm confusing with like Chris Bird or something because I think Chris Bird.
Yeah,
Who
he
did Chris?
beat the shit out of Chris Bird.
Yeah, because well, Chris
He
Bird beat one of them first. I might have been Vitaly or something, and then ends up losing to Vladimir later. I forget, I get mixed up, but yeah, it's one of the two because I remember him.
well, and then there's another one though. Chris Bird, not an all-time great, and you're telling me he beat one of them too. So you
Yeah,
see
well,
what I'm
it was
saying?
that one time when Vitaly kind of quit on his stool because of his shoulder or some shit. Remember that? Like
Oh,
Vitaly, I think that was Chris Bird. I could be wrong. Or maybe I'm getting it mixed up. I could be getting it mixed up because Bird and Brewster, I get those mixed up pretty frequent. But I forget which one it was. But I remember one of
yeah,
them.
no, Brewster, he knocks him out because they said they blamed it on the sugar levels.
Mm,
Remember, he's flopping all over the ring, dude, and
yep,
they're like,
that's right.
oh,
That's right.
his sugar was really low. I was like, whatever. So that was what I was thinking on Usyk this week, and I kind of agree with the chat rooms when they say, "Can you be considered an all-time great without facing an American?" We've seen many times these Europeans come here, Anthony Joshua, Andy motherfucking Ruiz. They come here and they get mollywopped, right? And Usyk still hasn't come to America and beaten an American, or even I guess now face one in Riyadh and beaten one over there. So maybe that's one hurdle he still needs to get over. Unfortunately, it does suck that Wilder just got face planted again by Zhang. So hopefully um, he can get that back. I was going to say Parker. Parker's New Zealand. So yeah, he's in a real good time right now, facing a lot of non-Americans.
Yeah.
Just a real game. Remember we say timing sometimes is everything. Now here's another one I seen on the internet that made me kind of raise my eyebrow on Usyk. Have you ever seen the clip of all the heavyweights that have faced him and how many of them did not give him respect after the fights? Chisora clearly says he won the fight with Usyk after the fight. He's like, I didn't lose that fight. I won that fight. Anthony Joshua after the rematch, he's like, how did you beat me? How did you beat me? He didn't win. I won that fight. I had more skill than him. Fury is protesting the contrary. Is this a close decision? He hasn't really spanked the shit out of one of these heavyweights where they're like, man, that guy, woo, he blew my socks off. You know what I mean? I had nothing for him. It was kind of weird that they had all these clips of heavyweights basically disrespecting him immediately after the fight. So the only one I think they gave him props is Tony Bellew, and he's not a real heavyweight.
Yeah. I want to say, and I'll look it up here momentarily, but I want to say Usyk fought a Witherspoon who's American.
Chaz Witherspoon.
Was it Chaz? Because it was like one of his first fights at heavyweight, and I think he's American. I don't know if they fought here in the U.S. I'm not entirely sure there. It might have been under the Top Rank banner, but that's, I think, the only American heavyweight that I think he has fought, because everybody else has been European. We might have to like fact check that, but that's
I'm gonna
the
look it
only
up.
one. Okay, because that's the only American that I could think of that I had to kind of like rack my brain over, because I don't think he's fought anybody else as far as, he's fought the Chisoras, and I eventually got to AJ and everybody else, right? But that, I mean, and not to say that that's really a good representation of American heavyweights necessarily, but that's the only heavyweight. It would be, maybe it would be even more legitimate if they did fight in the U.S., because I don't remember right offhand if they did fight in the U.S., but it's worth looking up. I don't know. That's the only guy that I can think.
Chaz Witherspoon's last fight was Usyk. He had 3 defeats going in, all by knockout. Not a heavyweight champ.
No.
Yeah, there's nothing really there. At least Lamont Brewster held a title, right?
Oh, and it was in the U.S. It said Chicago, Illinois. Damn, that's the only one that I can think of. Shit, no, I guess not, huh?
Yeah, so they got a little bit of an argument, at least as far as the European coming to America and proving yourself, right? He hasn't done that yet. And we've seen a lot of them fail. Lennox Lewis, he failed coming to America, right? So we've seen these guys, powerhouses over there. They come over here, they're not as much as powerhouses. So that it's all for discussion when the Usyk when his time is up and we're talking about all-time greats. But yeah, I'm just pulling back just a little on the whole he's the GOAT of this era.
Yeah. No, I don't even. I hate that term even, because it almost implies that the sport is over. Like the sport is that there's not going to be another future somebody else who's going to be where it's like, no. If the sport dies today and we look back, well, that's another fucking story. But it's gonna continue. There's gonna be like, and my dad hates it because my dad is a humongous Messi hater. He hates fucking Lionel Messi. He loves Ronaldo and he loves other guys, but he's like, dude, they give Messi so much fucking. They call him the greatest of ever. They give him the leg of heaven, all this shit. It's like as if the sport's gonna die and there's going to be nobody else after him. Like, no, there's going to be other Floyds. There will be other Canelos. There has to be. If the sport continues, there will be. So I don't like that greatest of all time shit. It's like, no, that's too much on one person, considering we're going to be dead and the sport's still going to be going on. So I don't even like that word, that term in general. I get it, why people do it, but I don't call anybody the fucking GOAT.
Right.
All right. Well, thank y'all for joining us and letting us ramble for as long as we love to, because it's so damn interesting to talk about this fucking sport that we can analyze it for days on end without even trying. So from everybody here, thank you for a fantastic 2024. We hope that everybody has a happy and safe new year and entering 2025 and beyond, because we will be back next week, the first show of 2025, to not only kick off 2025 and get that shit crack-a-lackin' on the good start, but of course, as we always do, any news that comes up between now and then, we will definitely bring to your attention and discuss it to great scrutiny, because we love doing that shit. So from everybody here, Andrew, Happy New Year. I'm sure I will send you a text between now and then. But everybody listen to us. You please have a very, very safe and Happy New Year. We will see y'all in 2025. Thank you very much. Peace and good night.
Happy New Year, you guys.